I was just telling Andy about I think I was telling you about some of the behind the scenes for John Wick or whatever. Like shows some training for like all the gun stuff and fighting stuff, and like all the stunt guys are like we've genuinely never worked with somebody that's as nice or works as hard as Keanu Reeves. Like
I believe it.
That's
why he keeps getting jobs.
He's like the first guy there on set, and then he's the last guy to leave, and he's like working harder than everyone else.
So, industry secret, if you see an actor who's in a lot of movies, like a Jude Law, a Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage, it's because they're great to work with.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey hasn't made a movie in a long time because I heard on set he is miserable to be around.
Mm-hmm.
He requires lots of takes. He pretty much directs his films. He has to get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's very few Jim Carrey films being made. But a lot of Keanu and Nick Cage
He's also
films.
an anti-vaxxer, and
It's a little weird.
yeah.
He's a little crazy.
It makes me think less of him.
Makes me want to be an anti-masker.
I mean, it's like when
That movie's good. Come on.
classic. It's a classic.
We haven't even started talking about the movie yet. I don't even
Jesus.
know how I'm going to edit this.
That's fine. We'll find something.
Well, this is how it's going to start now, so you just made my intro easy. My name is Bradley Jones,
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
I'm Andy Hubert.
and this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember what happened in a movie we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Speed.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
The year is 1994.
Dun, dun,
I-
dun,
I'm-
dun, 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 dun,
Ever
dun,
since
dun,
Back to the
dun,
Future,
dun,
I'm
dun, dun, dun,
skeptical.
Can't go below 45, 50. Was it 50?
Oh my
50
God.
miles an hour.
You lost it. I was really on board for us doing a thing, and then you forgot what the plot of the movie that we're about to talk about.
Not my
So
fault.
how does this movie open? I got to it first.
Okay, it
No,
opened-
Andy Hubert.
I think-
I feel like you always go to Andy Hubert.
Andy Hubert.
I think does
Andy
it open
Cooper.
with like it's either, okay. There's one of two things. It either opens with like Keanu Reeves doing his job of defusing bombs because he's like on the bomb squad or something for LAPD,
He is.
Or
it's Sandra Bullock doing her daily routine on the bus.
no.
No, okay. Well, I'm trying to get somewhere here, guys.
So, if I recall correctly, as I might not know, you can correct me.
Okay. Andy's gonna be like the authority on this.
So
one.
Dennis
wow, come
Hopper has put a bomb in a building
Ooh.
of some kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves
Yes.
knows about it. They're like trying to just disarm it at some point.
Yep.
Oh, I forget Dennis Hopper. I call him he's so
Hops.
good. The Hops. What's the Hops? And I don't know quite what happens. I know Jeff Daniels is in this film.
Yeah.
it Jeff
He's
Daniels?
also on the bomb squad team.
It's not Dave Coulier.
Nope, he's the bomb
No,
squad.
it's definitely Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, that was a glaring
It's just
mistake on
good
my part.
callback to whatever that other movie was.
I can't remember what it is now.
It was Dumb and Dumber.
I'm dumb and
Jim
dumber for
Carrey,
not remembering
Dave
it.
Coulier in Dumb and Dumber.
So I don't know quite what's happening, but there gets to a point in the beginning where Dennis Hopper has Jeff Daniels with a gun, and I think they jokingly talk about what to do if someone gets held hostage, and he says, like, what would you do? It's like, shoot the hostage. And it's like, why would you wouldn't shoot the hostage? It's like, yeah, just shoot the hostage, because then the bullet would go through the hostage and hit the guy with the gun. It immediately gets to a scenario where Keanu Reeves has to shoot Jeff Daniels,
Yep.
and he does, and Dennis Hopper gets away, even though...
Yeah. That's
I
what
think Jeff Daniels is wearing like a bulletproof vest, so it kind of doesn't even make sense.
No, because
No,
he
no,
has
no,
like
no.
he has like an arm and a sling or something the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it hits him.
Oh, you're right. He does have his arm in his sling.
So maybe he hits him in the shoulder.
Yeah, something like that.
You wouldn't want to.
It's
you wouldn't
kinda
want to shoot
dumb,
it,
though.
You wouldn't want to shoot the guy in the chest. Yeah, you
just
shoot him in the arm.
You just do a RoboCop. You shoot right between the legs into the dude's ding dong.
Into Dennis Hopper's ding dong.
Yeah, and that takes him out. You know, take him
that
down.
movie is the best movie ever made. That's all right. I think they might be on an elevator or something like
It's
that.
inside of an elevator.
Yeah,
I think the bomb's
bomb
on
is
the elevator.
On an elevator.
Yeah.
And then
elevator.
he does shoot him in the arm, but it kind of doesn't make sense because I think all he does is shoot him in the arm and then Dennis Hopper runs away. It doesn't like go through his arm or anything. I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think it works the way that they were talking about.
Maybe it's not the way I'm talking about. Maybe it just means shoot the hostage because then the hostage
Are
can't be.
are we sure it's
used
Dennis
as-
Hopper even in the first part?
Oh, it is
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, I know it is
sure.
later, but I mean, later
Dennis
than-
Hopper
It's
is
the
all
Hopper.
throughout
Alright,
this entire
alright.
movie.
Yeah, it's the Hopper.
What's he after? Is he after money?
So yeah,
No, that's
He's
like
gotta
that's so
be
much
in a
later in
way.
the movie.
Okay, so that's
he's
with the
ultimately
bus bomb.
he's ultimately about getting money at the end.
Yeah, but he's also about.
I think he's about
punishing-
getting money as soon as the bomb is on the
Maybe
bus.
there's a bank vault in this building, and he put bombs in a few places.
I mean, he was also saying it's about like punishing the LAPD or something for like because
He might be.
They
like,
did something wrong
they
to
fired
him.
him or something.
Was he? Is he an ex-bomb squad guy?
Yeah, well, yeah, I
That'd be
think
kinda cool.
so.
It'd be
Was
cool if
he?
he was.
Yeah, because like one of the things later is like they realize who he is because the watch used as a timer on the bomb is like the watch you get as a gift for like
That's
retiring
true.
from the police
Oh,
force.
That's true.
Okay.
So that's when they figure out who he is, and like I think he was injured on the job or something, and he felt like they
Didn't pay him enough. He didn't get his pension.
Yeah,
or something
like
like that.
they didn't take
He was
care
like
of him
1 week away
afterwards.
from retiring, and because he got shot, he can't get that money anymore.
something like that.
Yeah.
But really, it's just
some
it's
kind of
about the
baloney.
money.
I think I think that Jeff Daniels tells Keanu Reeves that he has to shoot the hostage. I think it's
Okay.
the other way around, and then Keanu Reeves is in that situation and he shoots him because the very next scene,
Jeff Daniels. being
Jeff
mad at
Daniels
him.
is getting a Medal of Honor or something like that from the LAPD, and he's in a cast and he's really ticked off at Keanu Reeves. He's like, now I have to take like 2 whole months off of work because of you.
Pop quiz, hot shot. You got a hostage situation on your hands. Like he says that a lot. That's like Dennis Hopper's like call sign. Pop quiz, hot shot. I love it.
Oh boy.
It's so classic.
All right, pop quiz. Airport, gunman with one hostage. He's using her for cover. He's almost to a plane. You're 100 feet away. Jack. Shoot the hostage. What? Take her out of the equation. Go for the good wound and he can't get to the plane with her. Clear shot. You're deeply nuts, you know that? Shoot the hostage.
And maybe it's like an easy way for him to recognize that it's that character or
Yep.
something like that.
Yep, that
There's
happens
like a little
later. Pop quiz, hot shot.
exactly.
You got a bomb on a bus going 40 miles an hour down a highway.
Is it 40?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I can't remember. Is
it's
it 40?
55 or
35 miles an hour.
30? Yeah, just
I
crawling
think it's
down the
55. I
expressway.
think it's 55 miles. It could be 65.
Could be 70.
How fast can a bus go?
I thought it was 45.
45 seems slow.
45 seems
I'm
too
going.
slow.
I'm going 55.
Well, most city
You can't drive 55.
but most city roads are like 45 and 35.
But they drive on the freeway for a bunch of this movie.
That's the whole point of why they can't like slow down. They have to be driving fast the whole time.
That's true.
That's why it's called speed, Andy.
Yeah,
it's
if it
not
was-
called
that's
the
true.
Mosey.
If it was 45, you could manage it a little better.
Okay.
It's not called a relatively fast.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Keanu Reeves is a cop in a lot of movies, huh?
Yeah, that's what he does.
I bet this is like
Wait,
the first.
Point
maybe?
Break?
Oh, he's also
Oh,
in Chain
yeah.
Reaction. Is he a
probably.
cop in that one?
Why not?
I don't remember what he is in. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
What about Johnny Mnemonic? Is he like future cop?
No, he's just a weirdo that doesn't understand how data works.
What about Lawnmower Man? Is he in that? I mean, he could be. So okay, so then Jeff Daniels is out of the picture for a little while.
Okay, yeah, because he gets shelved. He can't go on missions anymore or do whatever. Because he's, but he does help out. Because
He helps out later. Yeah,
He becomes a goose. He gets
Yes.
goosed a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit of that.
He gets goosed.
And then Dennis Hopper runs away, so they didn't catch him.
So he's on the loose. He hopped out.
Ooh,
He hopped
boy,
down.
Oh boy, that's this whole episode. Everyone's strapped
He
in.
hop skipped and jumped away. Everybody strap on. 'Cause we're going for it. This movie is great.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Once we get this bus going,
Yep.
we're in for good times.
Can't stop. Once you get the bus going, you can't stop.
That's literally the plot of the movie.
yeah,
I mean,
there it is.
So we're wondering
Um,
when Dennis Hopper's going to strike next, maybe?
Yeah, I'm like lost at how they get from the medal award thing right to the bus.
they
I think they just kind of jump.
They kind of just jump to
they
it.
kind of jump.
They
and
kind of hop to it.
and they like follow.
Bad.
and they like follow people getting on and off this bus doing regular things for a little bit.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it's
I think we're.
Well, the
I
bus
think
is
they just
picking
jump
people
right
up.
to.
It's picking up Alan Ruck
Alan Ruck.
It's picking up Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
It's picking up...
The Sandra Bullock.
I don't know who else is in this movie other than those two guys.
And that's all I got.
And then there's the driver.
The driver's great.
The driver's cool, dude.
And throughout this like picking up
He's
sequence,
got like his entire hair is just like combed all the way back.
all the way to the back.
Yeah, it's kind of long and just combed all the way back.
we get a lot of inserts of the speedometer, like almost going to where, because as soon as it gets past 55, it has to stay
It
above
arms the bomb, yeah.
55 or 65 or 75. We're not
Well,
quite
it's not
sure.
that high.
Some
I
sort
think
of
it's in the 50s.
Yeah, maybe it's 50. Maybe it's just straight up 50.
Maybe.
Then yeah, that would make sense.
Whatever speed it gets at, it has to stay at it. But until it does, the bus driver's just doing its normal bus driver stuff.
Yeah.
Picking up people.
At that point, just jump on an old country road
Jump
and
on
just
it. Jump on it.
go down the road.
And I bet one of those people like tried to wave a taxi and couldn't, and they're like, "Oh, I guess I'll just take the bus."
Yeah.
I think Alan Rucker, Sandra
sounds
Bullock,
right.
maybe.
Oh,
I
no,
wasn't
like,
even supposed to be here today.
I think Sandra Bullock's thing is like her car just broke down.
Okay.
And that's why she has to take the bus. Or someone on the bus has that happen. He's like, I wasn't even supposed to be on this bus, my dang car.
This is our first Sandra Bullock movie. I'm so happy because Sandra Bullock 90s is my
Oh, yeah.
Sandy Bull. She is my bulldog in the 90s. I am locked in to Sandy Bull.
Oh my gosh.
You're like playing like a game or you're on like a game show or something like that.
Wait, do I
Brad,
won
is that-
money?
Is that some sort of counter in your hand? Are you
No.
counting all
No.
these Hopper and Bullock
No,
jokes?
no.
Brad,
No,
are
no,
you
no.
locked in?
Brad,
I'm locked in.
are you getting
To
paid?
Pop
to
quiz,
Sandy
hotshot. Are you locked into the bulldog?
97.8.
Yeah, she's got her short hair going. She's got that Jennifer Aniston haircut. She's
Oh, yeah,
looking
she looks-
so good.
She's looking fine.
Oh my god, what happened?
Almost broke the table. All I did was just lean a little bit on this table.
Look, nothing but the finest quality in the What We Remember studios.
Oh man.
So let's get going.
So
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves knows that the bomb
He gets
is
a
on
phone
the bus.
call on
gets-
a payphone, I think, right?
Yeah, either that or he sends like a letter. But Dennis Hopper tells them this bomb is on a bus.
Okay.
Yeah, he calls them somehow.
They're
I
not
don't
sure
know if
what
it's,
bus. They like have to figure
Dennis
it
Hopper
out.
calls from a payphone, and
I think he
And then the
calls
movie
to
phone
them.
booth starts,
Oh,
What's that?
boy.
like the movie phone booth.
yeah, yeah.
And he tells them, yeah, like this bus is full of people and it can't slow down.
Does
and-
he tell the exact bus, or he's like, "There's a bus"?
I don't think he tells him the exact bus.
They have to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know how he figures it out though.
That's curious. I bet he tells
They
them
trace
exactly
the phone
same
call
bus.
maybe, and they're like, "This call came from near this bus, maybe."
Or
Yeah, that might
maybe.
happen. Oh man, that's hard. That's hard to figure out.
But there's a point where you don't think the bus is gonna go over the speed, and then it does. It's like, oh, we better not go over it. No, we did.
And you get the shot
There's
of like
nothing
the bomb,
else to be
like,
done.
A light turns on. It's like beep boop, and
Yep.
that's when you know
Just right underneath
it's
the
about to be
driver.
speed.
So
This movie is off. It's running.
Oh boy.
We are going.
Andy, keep up.
It is nonstop. The bus doesn't stop until it stops.
So okay, do we know how he finds out?
What
about
a
this
great
bus?
premise for a movie, though. Let's just take a second to just
appreciate
appreciate
this?
what's happening.
Is this a Jerry Bruckheimer movie?
Is
I
it?
wouldn't be surprised.
It might be.
I would not be surprised.
I wish I knew more about Speed,
Yeah.
the drug, not the movie.
Okay. Well, so I think he probably tells him like the bus number or something like that.
They
or-
probably figure it out or whatever.
They-
Let's move
at
past
some
that
point they
part.
All right,
figure it
let's
out,
move
yeah.
past it. So what happens is Keanu Reeves ends up like taking someone's car, or he jumps into someone's car and he's like, I
Yeah.
need you to follow that bus.
And Keanu Reeves has really short hair in this movie.
Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
does.
It's so short.
It's a little too short.
Well, it's a little too short in this movie.
Yeah.
He looks too young.
Yeah.
I'm getting at what I'm getting at here.
yeah.
And so he hops in the guy's like it's
Yeah,
like
you
a
did
red
it. You did it.
convertible.
He did hop in there.
And there it is. And he tries to follow this bus and get in front of the bus.
Okay.
But
So
the bus driver's like doesn't
Dennis Hopper has rules.
Yes.
He says a couple things. I forget what they are. One of them is that the bus has to stay above this thing. I think the other one is like there can be no cops or something
can't
around.
call the
No one-
or
yes.
it has to be him specifically.
Oh, probably from the beginning. Yeah, it has to be him to go
might
on.
have to be him
Or like
specifically.
one of the rules is nobody goes on and nobody comes off.
That's true.
Except him. He's like the one exception I think they get because he wants to mess with
Dennis
them
Hopper
from the
likes to
first
play
part.
games.
Yes.
He's a game
Yeah.
game master.
He's like the Riddler. He's like the Riddler.
Oh, you're having a tough time over here.
Yeah,
today,
no, I'm
Andy.
gonna stop. And so he
takes his convertible.
So
he
does
takes
he-
a convertible and he
He's-
smashes the door off of it
Okay, sure.
because he's trying to figure out how to get onto. Oh,
Does he
but
put
before-
something to like put the gas on? Does he like he has to keep the gas on and then he gets off and because he gets on the bus?
Oh, this is what he does. He waves to the bus driver and he's like, "There's a bomb on the bus," and he's trying to tell him and everything. And the bus driver was like, "I don't know what you're
I can't hear you
doing.
over my
What's
slick
going
back hair."
on?
And then he starts to slow down. He's like, no, you gotta like go faster,
Speed
go
up,
faster.
speed up.
Yeah.
And then he writes him a note, and it just says "bomb on bus."
What?
And he goes to like hold it in front of the bus, but like the car jerks or something like that, and the piece of paper like flies right onto the window, and the bus driver
Oh.
sees it. It like smashes against
That's
the window, and
sweet.
it's like "bomb on bus."
Whoa!
And so then he slows down, and he's like, "No, you gotta keep going, keep going." Then he smashes the door off the vehicle in order to just jump right onto the
Oh.
bus.
Okay.
People don't talk about speed enough
No.
because this is all news to me.
Oh yeah, this all happens.
But it is like it's everything you're saying is triggering memories.
Right.
Like, oh yeah,
Yes.
that for sure happens. That for sure happens. Oh man.
And then we're gonna watch it. And none of it happens.
Right. It's just like those air
Yeah.
air fight pilots.
So
the
he-
chicken fight pilots.
Yeah.
Jumps onto the bus, tells the bus driver there's a bomb on there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
The bus driver has a heart attack or something because Sandra
No.
Bullock's got to be driving the bus at
He
some
gets
point.
shot.
he
He
this
gets
is the
shot?
next this is the next
Is
part.
there someone on the bus that has a gun?
One of the guys on the bus is like, "Well, I'm getting off this bus then." And
Is it
Keanu
Alan Ruck?
Reeves-
It's not quite no,
think-
it's not Alan Rock.
Okay.
It's some like it's just some
one of the
like
random
street
guys.
guy.
But he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm getting off this bus." And Keanu Reeves is like, no." And he's like, "I got a gun. Get me off this bus." And then they
I think
fight
what
for it.
actually happens is the guy thinks that Keanu Reeves is there to get him in particular.
Oh, he's a
'cause
criminal.
He's like a criminal.
Yeah. He
That
stole
could be,
something.
He has like
yeah.
a warrant or something like that, and he's like, you're not getting me, you're not getting me. And then
Yeah, Keanu
They-
Reeves couldn't care less.
Yeah.
right.
He's like, "There's a bomb on the bus, guy."
And he thinks it's all a ploy or something. I don't know, something like that. It's kind of irrelevant. But
Yeah.
I think Alan Ruck maybe wrestles with the guy
They
or
fight for the
someone.
gun. Yeah.
Okay.
They fight for the gun, and the bus driver gets hit in the shoulder.
Yeah, he's
or
not
something.
dead. He's not dead, Brad.
He's
Don't
not
worry.
dead. Yeah,
But he can't drive a bus anymore.
'cause
Right.
he's all
he's like,
woozy.
yeah. He's losing a lot of blood.
So there's probably like an old woman, right? Like an old angry lady.
Yeah.
There's probably a young girl of some kind, and like a mother-daughter kind of
There's
kind
gotta
of
be,
deal.
or there's a pregnant lady, I think.
Probably a pregnant lady. And she's,
Ooh, yes,
and
there is
she's
a pregnant
she's
lady.
due like 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. She's like in labor. We were riding the bus to
Keanu
the
Reeves has to
hospital.
deliver a baby. He cuts the umbilical
boy.
cord with a bomb explosion.
He like snips the wire and the cord in the same shot.
Make that movie. And then the baby explodes. Wrong cord, wrong
It
wire,
was the
wrong
bomb all
wire.
the time.
Should I cut the green umbilical cord or the red one? I don't know.
Why are there two? Oh, it's twins.
This movie sounds even better than the great movie we're about to talk about.
So now that he's been shot,
He says, "Go, Sandy Bull, take the reins.
Take the
You
wheel."
You got to drive this thing, dog."
And that's where they're like,
Jesus, take the wheel.
let's get to know each other. And they have a nice little chat about who they are as people and what their likes and dislikes.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of downtime where everything's kind of moving where it should be. What is their plan? Just to like disarm the bomb?
So, well, that's what the back.
Their plan is to figure out the
back
plan.
at like the
Yeah.
LAPD bomb squad headquarters. That's they bring Jeff Daniels back in because they're like the guy's back. And they're trying to figure out the plan. So they keep radioing to Keanu Reeves and some other like there's like a captain guy who's like also in charge of this thing too.
Sure.
Because there always is.
But yeah, so they're like, all right, let's get on the freeway and because that's where we could drive for a while.
And Keanu Reeves has to look at the bomb, right? He has to get his eyes on it or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
He has to get underneath
So he has
the
to
bus.
crawl under the bus and there's like a hatch in the floor so he can get down there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I remember him getting like totally down there. I don't know when it happens. Maybe it's later in the movie. But he's on like a piece of metal. And it's like sparking up and he's
That was
looking
late.
at the
That's
bomb
later
and-
when they wheel him under there on like a little cart.
Yeah.
later.
And the bus
I
hits
think
like
they-
a bump or something.
Yeah,
Do they wheel him or like a bomb guy or?
Him.
it's him.
It's him.
Okay.
It's always Keanu.
Okay.
Come on.
It's always been Keanu.
Yeah. Okay.
But they think they're on to Dennis Hopper at some point.
Yes.
It's kind of in the middle-ish.
They're probably trying to trace the phone
Yeah,
call
trying to
or
trace
something.
about in the middle. They think after they get a look at the bomb, and like Jeff Daniels eventually has that realization of like, oh, that's like the LAPD retirement watch, and they look up and find out it's Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
And they're like, we have an address. We're going now. And he
that's
goes
a
with the
setup.
SWAT team.
As a setup, there's a bomb at that address, and it
The
blows
house
up,
is booby-trapped.
and it gooses Jeff Daniels.
And it blows up Jeff Daniels. And
Well, it
then
gooses him.
Wait, he dies?
From now on, that's
Yeah.
what we're gonna
He
call
gets,
it.
Oh.
he gets blown the hell
Anytime
up.
from this point on in the podcast, when someone dies, you got to tell them they got goosed.
They got goosed.
Oh, they got goosed.
And it's so sad
Jeff
because
Daniels
like
got goosed.
They
I
got goosed
don't
like
remember
hard.
that
yeah,
happening.
because the SWAT team's all in the house too, and he went with the SWAT team, and he's in there, and like he like trips a little tripwire or something, and he like sees it, and he's just like it's like that shot
Was
of
it
his
like
face where he knows it's about to happen.
a red herring or something like
Yeah,
that?
it was a setup.
It was a setup.
There's even like a guy, like a fake mannequin or something with a baseball hat that looks like Dennis
It's
Hopper.
an inflatable
inside the
clown
thing.
in the shower, and there's a kid pulling strings.
You really do
Call back, Home Alone 2, episode 18, I think.
There's also like they bring in this specialty truck that like the LAPD
Yeah, a
has.
bomb truck
like
of some kind?
like a flat truck. So all these cops are on one side, and that's when they're
So they
got to
have some more plans, right? What are more of the plans?
That's where they were going to try and get people off the bus.
Well, their plan was...
Oh, no. Well, they have to... they figure out Dennis Hopper has access to the camera inside the bus, and they loop the footage.
That's later.
That's later, but that happens.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay.
And that's when they try to get people off the bus.
right.
That's
But-
I was just piling on with your point.
Yeah. That's a good piece of information.
Before that, I think the first big thing is that highway being out of commission.
Yes,
Remember
because it's
that?
under construction.
yes.
The
bridge is out.
Or the
Yeah.
bridge, yeah. Which that in real life,
I remember
that's
seeing...
not happening.
No, it's not happening.
I remember seeing behind-the-scenes footage of them doing this stunt.
You could
they
s-
fly a bus.
Yeah, you can
Off a
see
thing.
the bus like
Yeah,
they
so
have like
he-
a thing
so
goes
here's
like
the-
psh, and like shoots the front of the bus up so it could like possibly come close to making.
Yeah,
the
so
jump.
here's the forever
Yeah.
problem with the part. The first shot is the bus going down,
Yep.
and the second is the bus going up.
Yeah,
Yep.
The second shot is the bus going up.
it's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
It looks bad.
It should have just been going down in both shots. I don't understand.
Right. It should have
don't
been going
get
to
it.
like a lower ramp or something
Yeah,
like that.
it shouldn't have even like jumped up. It should have just
Yeah.
fallen to a lower ramp.
Well,
Yeah, like
it
a
jumped-
video
unless
game.
unless like they had some like construction equipment set up so it could jump a ramp.
Now that would be awesome if they were like, we know this is going to happen. We're going to set up a ramp for you. Good
gonna-
luck. We'll see what happens.
Do a jump the shark situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know this scene is totally irrelevant, but when Sandra Bullock starts driving the bus,
Okay. She says she's
They're-
never driven a car before or something?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Because
I
she
don't-
said her
I
car
don't-
broke down. I thought maybe she said something like that.
I don't think they would allow her to drive the bus with
Okay.
a bomb on it if she couldn't drive.
All right. I thought maybe that might have been fun.
But she is just driving and is told like not to stop or whatever, for anything.
They
And
hit a lot of food
lady-
carts. They hit glass. They hit mirrors. They hit all sorts of stuff in the middle of the road.
And
Other
a lady
cars.
is walking her baby carriage across the street.
I remember this.
And she was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna hit it!"
And she hits it.
She hits it and she freaks out. But then you see all these
Cans.
Coke cans and
And
soda
Keanu
cans.
Reeves is trying to calm her down. It was just cans.
Yeah,
It wasn't a baby. It was just cans.
it was just a lady.
But then
with
he looks
a
back
carriage.
and sees the
The
corpse
baby.
of the baby.
Yeah,
in the
that
road.
happens.
And he's,
That's
just
And he's
telling
like,
her.
"Which umbilical cord should I cut? The red one or the green one?"
He's just out cutting cords that day.
Yeah.
He's a cord cutter. He switched from cable.
But
So that was a weird delayed joke.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was there.
It like went around the table. Like everyone took a second to understand it.
Yeah.
Like y'all understood it, but then laughed at it at
we
different
all
points.
got there at some point. Yeah.
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 It was a bit of a stretch, but we got it.
Yeah. So there is a part on the. I think it was. I guess it is when they're at the airport that they are.
That's
trying to-
you're jumping.
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
You're
we're
jumping
not
too
at the
far ahead.
airport
There's
yet.
still some more
That's why I
bus
kept trying to bring it
hijinks
up because I
happening.
thought it was earlier.
Yeah.
But
I guess
just to
we
get
are
under
just
it.
like pretty much at the scene where they.
I'm trying to think of the other bus hijinks.
yeah.
Like he
That
gets,
happens early.
Or
After
He crawls
Does
into the bus at the one point.
Does the lady go
Uh-huh.
into labor and then they try to negotiate with Dennis Hopper to get her off?
maybe they
Oh,
get
that
one
is-
person
That's
off
exactly
the bus.
right. They get because he's like, or it's also the bus driver because he's bleeding out, and they,
Yes.
they-
So that's the first step.
They agree to let them off the bus, and that's when they bring in the car.
What does Dennis Hopper get out of that? Anything?
I don't. Oh,
He gets Jeff Daniels' body. in the house.
Oh no!
No, I don't know what he gets out of it.
Does he get
I thought
something?
he got Keanu Reeves out. Like, Keanu Reeves is like, I'll stay.
He stays.
He stays.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to mess with me, right? And so that's what
That
they,
happens.
They get the bus driver off. They get the pregnant lady off, and then so the old lady is like, I'm getting off too, and tries to jump out. And Dennis Hopper blows a bomb up that's at the door of the bus,
Whoa.
and she gets like pulled under the bus and dies.
She gets goosed.
And Keanu Reeves
She
almost
gets
falls
goosed
out.
under the bus?
She gets goosed under that bus.
Oh no!
Because
Wow.
and he's like, I told you no extra people, and he's like, I tried to stop her. She was just crazy. And
I tried to stop her, but the hopper was too strong.
It might be the old guy, but yeah. Someone definitely gets blown out the door of the bus.
Maybe it was that criminal kid.
Yeah, it
because he
might
seems
be.
like a
Maybe.
shady character.
Yeah.
But
He seems selfish.
I don't think they would kill
gets
an
what he
old lady
deserves.
in this movie.
so that's I bet it's like a lonely.
Wait, is this "Don't Throw Mama from the Train"? Because it seems similar.
I think it was like a lonely
throw
old
Mama
guy
from
in
the
a
speed
suit
bus.
or something. Like it's like a Gil from The Simpsons character, I think, that tries to jump out. He's like, old Gil's gonna get it this time, guys. And
So then, once they get those guys out of the bus, I think then we get to the scene where they just have to jump the ramp.
Yeah.
And
they jump it.
that scene is
You're still thinking about it.
It's fun.
it's fun, but
It
it's
is.
like it doesn't
It's
work.
Sandra
ridiculous,
Bullock
but it's
is screaming so loud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to turn the volume on my TV down.
When does he get on the cart to go under the bus?
I think that's when they're at the airport.
I feel like they have to loop the footage for them to do anything sneaky like that.
Maybe.
I think they
But
get
they
to the
do-
airport, then they loop the
But
footage.
yeah, they do get to the airport, and they find out that
Then they
he's on
start
the
trying
camera
to
the
defuse
bus.
the bomb.
And yeah, they loop the bus footage.
No, he's on the highway when he's underneath that bus because they hit a bump or something. There's shenanigans that happen.
There's something that happens where they
he
have to
can't
swerve
cut the
around.
thing.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
loses the cart, and that's when he's on a piece of metal instead at some point. He's like, oh my God. And Sandra Bullock's like, I killed him, because she sees the cart like fly out the back of the bus,
Yeah.
all mangled. But
But he's fine.
he's fine, and he finds the
He's
bomb.
just hanging on to the bottom of the undercarriage of the
Yeah.
bus, right?
Mhm. Like the bottom of the helicopter. He's just hanging on for dear life.
So they're at the airport and they're just basically just driving in like
circles,
circles
yeah.
at the airport, and then they.
Are we there already,
I
though?
think we are.
Seriously?
so.
There's
Like-
not more bus hijinks?
There's a whole.
I
There's
know.
a whole
I know.
crazy
Yeah.
third act.
I know.
Brad doesn't know. Andy.
I know.
He doesn't know.
There's a crazy third act.
Because
So-
the third act's like, how is this movie still going?
But once they loop
it's like
it,
a new movie.
once they
Yeah.
loop it, they bring that flat truck thing back, and they start getting everybody off the burst.
How do they loop it? Do they just hack into?
They have they find a news crew with like a van that has like broadcast capabilities like outside the airport, and they get them to they're able to pick up the feed from the bus.
There's more that happens.
And they loop it on a
I gotta
tape.
believe.
Well,
but I know we're not gonna
okay,
think
okay,
of it.
okay.
but
We can't.
I know.
We can't skip over the fact that Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock slowly fall in love with each other.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
We got to talk about that. I think they start.
It's the only thing slow in this movie.
I think during all of the bus riding,
They're telling each other about
They're telling their personal
lives.
story, and I think Sandra Bullock might have just broke up with her fiance or something like that, or like she had cold feet at a wedding or something. Does this sound familiar? Am I make this up?
I don't know. Whatever. Sounds good.
I think that might have happened.
Sure.
Sure.
Like she acknowledges that she's single or something like that.
Yeah, they're
or-
growing closer together.
Or she, yeah, I don't know.
And I think they're handling some other passengers' problems and stuff like that too. Alan Ruck's got, something going on.
I feel like Alan Ruck has like 6 lines.
he
in
has
this
6
movie.
lines in this movie. You're right. But there's a lot to deal with on the bus other than the bomb.
Yeah, that's true.
But I can't remember other than the maybe pregnant lady
Yeah.
and the for sure thievy guy. Mm-hmm. And the mom and there's got to be a mom and a kid. There has to be.
Okay.
I
believe
can't
you.
not believe it.
Yep. There's got to be some high stakes.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a kid on that bus
throw a kid off that bus.
and blow it up.
Okay, I'll concede to go to the airport.
All right. So
I'll concede to go to the
get
airport.
everybody off.
But they do talk back and forth to the police a lot, trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
They're really trying to plan this thing out.
Yes.
Because he knows all their next moves, and like, how do they know the next moves? And they figure out.
He knows all their secrets.
I think Keanu Reeves sees the camera. I'm like, oh, we can do this.
Yeah.
He's watching us.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could tell that it's like
There's something that happens that ticks Keanu Reeves off to knowing that the only way that he could have known that was to have eyes on the bus. So Keanu Reeves reasons it out, finds the camera, and they move on from there. And that's when they get to the airport.
I think
and
that's
figure
part
out
of
all the plans.
because they call up all the news helicopters because they think that's what he was watching for the first part. So they're like, okay, now we're safe. Now that the news helicopters are out, and then
Yep.
something else
And
happens.
something else happens.
and that's when they're like, he can see the camera on the bus.
Yep, Dennis Hopper shows his hand. Or there's just a camera. I don't think... Maybe every bus has a camera, but either way, either he's hacked into the camera or he planted a camera.
So they tie the wheel off.
The wheels on the bus go round.
They get everybody.
I was thinking about that song just a little bit ago.
They,
He's got eyes on the bus.
They get all
He's
the
got eyes on the
passengers
bus.
off.
Go round and round.
And so it's just Keanu and Sandra Bullock left, and they tie the bus's steering wheel, and then they like jump out, but
So they can't disarm the bomb is what it comes down
yes,
to.
they can't
Yeah.
do it.
That's true.
It's not going to happen.
Not gonna do it.
All right?
And
It's time appropriate for the movie.
I might be making this completely up, but I want to see it happen. I think what he does is maybe he blows the back door off of the bus and like
Lands on
he
it.
skateboards with it or something like that, or
They fall
rides
off,
it
yeah.
They jump on like onto it, and they like ride that off into like the grass.
into the sunset.
Oh yeah.
Because the what happens with the
And he's not facing his mic. It was going off for a second.
what happens with the bus is it goes into a airplane hangar and just blows up.
Well, it hits an airplane.
It's an airplane.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They blow up an airplane for this movie.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Dude's just like little dude just driving his little tow truck towing a plane across the airport. He's like, oh gosh! This bus just blows the plane up.
And they kiss.
Yeah.
And they kiss.
And then is that when they make the statement about the relationships?
Yep. Relationships starting under extreme circumstances have a high chance to fail. Because Sandra Bullock's character has a lot of these stats in her head, and she keeps on. She knows a lot about things, like randomly.
Keanu's
Is
like,
she like in a like Wall Street or an accountant or something like that? Like,
I think
why
she
does
just likes to
have
read.
stats?
I don't
it might
know.
be. She's just a brainiac.
Yeah, she's a smart lady.
Keanu Reeves is like, but have you seen me?
That was a good Keanu Reeves.
Thank you. Whoa. So what happens after
That was
the
my
thing
Keanu
plane
Reeves.
blows up? How do they get to Act 3?
Well, here's what's happening. The police force put a trash can full of money in a garbage bin because
Yes.
Dennis Hopper still thinks the bus is going.
Yes, you're right.
So they're gonna track
Yes.
the garbage can.
Yep.
Or the
money.
The money, which has a bug in it, and they're gonna follow Dennis Hopper and they're gonna get him that way.
Yeah.
And he's got some disguise on or something like that. And he goes into the subway.
And they follow him.
He's disguised, I think, as an ambulance person, like an EMT or something.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's good.
And maybe he sends a plant to come get the money, but then they follow the wrong person for a second.
The way he gets the money is like there was like a trap door in the
there
bottom
was.
of the trash
You're
bag.
right, and
Like,
it goes into the subway.
yeah.
It's like an Inspector Gadget.
They open the
Thing.
lid off and they're like, "It's empty." What? And that's when they realize there's like a door and he's down below.
Let me think of another analogy. Let me think of another analogy. That Inspector Gadget thing fell flat. Like the tube at a bank, where you send the money in the tube. That's what happens.
So wait, I don't get what. How did they do this? What?
He has like
They're trying to set him up.
Yeah, they're trying to set him
They're
up.
trying to catch him, so they
do
give
a
him the
drop
money.
with the money, and he's like put it in this trash can at this intersection.
Okay.
But he'd rigged that trash can to like drop the money down below into the subway. So,
Oh.
so the police are just watching the
don't
trash
remember
can.
that.
They're waiting for someone to come get the money out of the trash can, and turns out he already got it forever ago because it just goes straight down.
just
below.
fell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
He's
then
rigged up
How did he rig that up?
He rigged up an elevator thing.
he rigs everything.
He's just a
He
smart
knew it.
man.
He knew every step of the way.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And then so they Keanu Reeves figures it or sees like him going down into like the subway or something and chases after him.
But he chases after him, and Sandra Bullock
At
is
some
there
point
too.
she captures him. Yeah, like he captures Sandra Bullock and holds her hostage
Yeah,
again.
I don't know why she's
hostage
there.
moment.
Yeah, it's another one of those.
Why is she there? That's a great question, Andy.
I think maybe she was being treated in the ambulance that he was disguised as the guy for. I think that was it. I'm gonna stick with that.
Here's what
Oh, that's a good
I'm
one.
feeling good.
I kind of like that.
here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Dennis Hopper kidnaps her somehow, like holds a gun. It's like, come with me, honey. You're my insurance policy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, she was just out around, either in the ambulance or around it. And Dennis Hopper grabs her and takes her into the subway. Mm-hmm. And then Keanu has to follow her.
Maybe it's both of the ideas together.
Could be.
He's pretending to be an ambulance driver
And kidnaps her.
and kidnaps her at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then Keanu Reeves is like, "Where'd she go?" And he sees her like going down like the subway steps or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta go after her." And then, so now we're back in the same situation that happened in the very beginning. They're in the subway. He has another bomb on the subway.
Sure.
He's
Yeah,
just
why not?
Bomb
Planes,
City.
planes, trains, and automobiles in this movie.
Oh my God. So then it's the same.
He's strapped with a bomb, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
he's
he
wearing
does.
a bomb.
He's wearing a bomb.
And he's got like a dead man switch, so he can't shoot him this time because he'll drop the switch and blow everybody up.
That makes sense. But he also, there's handcuffs involved somehow. He handcuffs her to maybe the pole inside the subway car.
Oh,
Is she not on top of the bus with him during the fight? Maybe not.
top of the car, you mean?
Yeah.
They're on top of the...
And that's how Dennis Hopper gets goosed.
Oh, tell me about
There's
that.
no way she's up on that roof.
She's
No,
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 way.
she's not on
She's
there.
in the
She's
car.
definitely she's handcuffed,
handcuffed
to
to
there.
one of the handrails.
Dennis
of the car.
Hopper and Keanu Reeves get to the top of the subway. They have a fight. Dennis Hopper has the upper hand. He's about to land the final blow, but Keanu says something like, "Be sure to duck."
Or
and then
this
Dennis
is-
Hopper just loses his head.
I thought it was gonna be like, I think this is your stop.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper gets his head loppered
Whoa,
There it is.
Boy,
off by something in that subway.
It's probably just like a sign to the next station or
Yeah,
something
like
like that.
some light in the
He
tunnel.
needs to change his name from Dennis Hopper to Cindy Lauper because his head is off.
Oh boy,
Is anyone still here for the podcast?
this is something.
Did everyone just turn it off?
His body needs to go 50 miles an hour or else that head is going to get lopped.
That's a Brad joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so...
So now,
But I think... Oh,
but in the process of this chase, the control panel got busted.
okay, there it is. Because I was going to say the whole thing.
I think I think he
crashes.
like turned around and shot it. He was like,
Can't anything
"Ha."
go their way.
So now
ever in
they're
this
in a
movie.
speeding subway car that can't be stopped.
Oh, this movie never ends.
They really blow their load in these things. No wonder they had to go for a boat for the sequel. Nothing else
Right.
was left.
So yeah, then the subway car just like crashes through the city for a while.
But I don't remember how does he save Sandra Bullock? Because she's still handcuffed to the subway. Like,
feel
that's
like-
the stakes.
So, I think there's like a really sad moment where Sandra Bullock's like, just use your keys or something like that. And he's like, I don't have them.
I never carry keys.
I don't have the keys. He's like, you don't have the keys. It's like, can't do it. And there's a moment where they're like gonna lose,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
but something happens.
He's like, oh, they're right here. Never mind. In my pocket.
no, I forget what happens.
No, I
but-
think they kick the pole off or something, but they still can't get off the car. I think they're in that car and it like crashes through all the stuff.
Yeah, because I think they run all the way to the back of the subway car.
I think
keep
they just
running.
hold on for dear life.
Okay.
Wow.
And they
See
just
that
go
too.
with the
I think they like
crash.
try to kick it off and they can't. And that's even
can't.
sadder because he's like, "There's nothing we can do." And
And Sandra's like, just leave me, and she's like, I'm not
he's
gonna
like,
do
I'm
it.
not going.
And
We
then-
love each other now. After
3 hours.
3
of-
hours of driving in a bus. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
of intense, like, near-death experience. How can you fall in love with someone as you're, like, literally going to die at any
I
moment?
fell in love with Sandra Bullock so many times in my life.
So the subway car.
I mean, in that sense, did he fall in love with Jeff Daniels in the very
Well,
opening
yeah.
of the movie?
Of
course.
That's why he had to get goosed. Oh, I feel bad for everyone listening to this episode.
No,
Yeah.
this movie's so good.
No,
Oh,
we're
it
on-
is. I'm
we're
really
on-
excited, but
We're
Yeah.
on point with this
I'm really excited
episode.
for this movie.
This movie's awesome.
It is.
It's just so good.
We nearly got this movie, like, down.
It's close. There's gonna be some nitpicky things that
Yeah.
we
Oh, yeah.
screwed up on, but man,
All right, I think we're all kind of on, like, different pages with the ending here.
They crash the subway car into a bunch of stuff. And
Oh,
then-
definitely.
And then they wander out like, wow, how'd that happen? And then it's like they kiss and that's the end, I think.
I think he shoots the handcuffs.
no,
No
think it's just
way.
they just
handcuffs.
write it out.
They ride that out. Yeah, they
That's
just,
my that's
yeah,
my
I
that's
think
my
they just
solution.
survive.
I think he shoots the handcuffs and then they run
Because you think
to
they
the
lost.
back of the subway car.
Because you think they're dead, and then they like emerge from one of the subway car, like, haha, here we are the whole time, got it.
And then Sandra Bullock has a hand missing
Oh, man.
because the handcuff ripped it off during the crash.
And that's when Keanu's like, I only like two hands, and leaves her.
Oh,
It's very
well,
sad. And then, yeah.
That is sad.
Roll credits. It ends on a downer.
Then the very last scene or last shot after they come out of that rubble is they make out. They have a kiss.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got it. They got a smooch.
And I think they're like, let's go on a date.
No,
They don't say it like that.
yeah, they're like, let's go on a date. Hope we don't have to take the bus.
Credit.
That is for sure happening.
Anything but the bus.
Oh boy.
Let's take the taxi this time.
And then
I would love it if
Let's
that's
go
how
on the
it ends.
petticoat wagon.
and that year bus ridership went down by 80%. This movie was terrible for the bus industry.
And that's it, I think.
Yeah.
But then Speed 2 Cruise Control, but we'll never talk about
hell
that
yeah. No, that movie's great.
movie. No.
I've never seen it.
I saw it in theaters. That
In
was
theaters,
it
Brad?
was a treat.
Oh, boy.
After the first one, you're like, how can they screw this up? Oh, they didn't cast Keanu, they screwed it up.
Yeah, they
step
have,
one.
what, Matthew Fox?
Patrick Wilson or something like that? Not Patrick Wilson.
No.
Sound like a helicopter.
Sorry, I was trying to move it away.
A guy that isn't as famous and never became as famous as Keanu. I forget his name.
Really?
He's just some dark-haired dude.
Okay.
Patrick's in my brain.
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick
Patrick
Dempsey.
Patrick.
Kirk Cameron.
Ugh.
Matthew
Left
Patrick.
behind.
Matthew Perry.
I don't know. Pat Morita, I think.
Patrick Stewart.
That'd be the movie I'd see.
I would definitely see that movie.
What are you gonna say?
Hey, he's
What are you
finally
gonna
put this
say?
movie
No,
together
I,
in his head.
I was trying to picture Pat Morita in Speed trying to defuse that bomb.
We here at the What Remember podcast would highly recommend watching the movie Speed. We really loved it. We really get into it. If you haven't seen it in a while, pause the podcast, watch Speed, come back, listen to part 2, do yourself a favor. This movie's great. Thanks.
Harry. Harry, it's Jack.
You better not be calling in sick because I dragged my ass out of
Harry, he's alive.
What?
The bomber. He's back. He hit one in Venice already. Fire chief said there's nothing left.
Temple, we just got a ransom demand from your dead terrorist. Says he's rigged the city bus. Where's Jack?
Where do you think?
I gotta get on that bus.
You gotta get him. Yeah, you get on the bus.
Welcome to the Pop Quiz Hot Shot podcast. We watch Speed. And Dennis Hopper apes that from Jeff Daniels right in the beginning of the movie.
Right away, and then carries it through the film like it was his the whole time.
That jerk. I hate when people do that. That's the worst.
Wait, I must have missed this.
It's like when
Jeff
you
Daniels
tell a joke
said,
that like bombs and someone else tells the exact same joke and it wins.
yeah.
That's the worst.
So right
It's the
away,
worst.
right away when they're in the elevator shaft, that's when Jeff Daniels
like one
says,
of the first
the
things
pop
that
quiz
happens.
hot shot, the hostage situation. What do you do? And Kennedy's like, I shoot the hostage. And Dennis Hopper was listening on a
Listening
radio,
in
so he hears it and then later uses it
all the time.
Twice.
He thinks it's his own
He uses
thing.
it like
times.
3 times.
Yeah.
And
I
okay,
did. I missed that
He
line from
apes
Jeff
it.
Daniels.
and I was like,
apes it.
I could understand if there was a moment where Jeff Daniels like thinks about him saying pop quiz something and is like, oh, like he was listening to what we said, like he knows the police stuff, and that kind of led them to the police thing. Nope, it's just Dennis Hopper just appropriates it and that's it. It's his
oh
now.
man.
Well, that's what ape stands for. It's short for appropriate. I get it.
Oh,
Sure.
there it is.
I assumed it was just some
Education.
But the
on
movie starts
podcast.
with a camera going down flights of stairs
That was a
inside of an
cool
elevator.
elevator,
shot.
Yeah, it
the
goes down
elevator
like
shaft.
20 floors.
That was an amazing shot.
Apparently, like the trivia said, they actually built like a 7-story elevator just for this movie. I'm like, you couldn't find one in LA
Not
to
that
use?
big. It has to be really
Build it.
big. It has to be
There's
very
tall
specific.
buildings down there. Well,
Hire people, build it.
Yes. They built
Spend
a
money.
whole elevator just for that.
There's a similar scene in Mission Impossible, the original, like in an elevator, and the elevator is a lot more cramped and smaller. This one
And-
feels big.
Dude, the Mission
really
Impossible
build
elevator
this one.
scared me when I
Oh,
saw
it
that
is
movie
scary.
the first time.
When
I was
Emilio
like,
Estevez dies.
oh,
Hey,
my-
whoa, whoa, whoa!
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
We're gonna be doing that.
Save it for that
episode.
episode.
Now I have to bleep that out.
That was like the saddest part of that movie, and
Although,
it's right in the beginning.
All of us know this happens.
true.
We all knew it.
It was gonna come up in that part 1. Oh man.
So did you guys see when Keanu Reeves was driving that car into?
What is going on?
Okay.
with
Why
him?
did he drive the car like that?
I messaged-
It was like Crazy Taxi.
I messaged both of you saying I was 6 minutes in and already had so much to say, specifically because
There's no reason.
His entrance into the whole movie is him flying 20 feet over like a steep drop on a street in the cop car for
Yeah.
no reason.
So the bank or the elevator's stuck. They know there's a bomb on it already, and Keanu Reeves flies over like 15 feet.
He gets
of-
like
of
6 foot of air.
He does like a Ferris Bueller, like, jump on the streets thing, but for no reason, and destroys that cop car.
Yeah,
Like,
done.
it landed, and you were like, that car clearly is broken.
What is the
now.
deal? And
They're
he's
gonna
always
need
like,
they're gonna need a ride home.
he's always like smarming off to the police chief.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this guy is a bad cop. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
We don't want this sass on the team. Keanu Reeves are not worth it.
He's like constantly negotiating with Dennis Hopper in this movie, and he is the worst negotiator
Yeah.
ever.
But he
He's
gets
like
everything he
always
wants
to
for some
level
reason.
10. He's
don't
always
understand.
like, give me the thing, give me that.
Even when
You
he's
don't
like,
have any like.
well, he yell
has
whispers
no-
to Sandra Bullock too in the same way.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
He has no leverage ever, and he's
think-
always like screaming at the villain.
I was very confused. At first, I was confused because in part one, I think we both said they were just specifically on the bomb squad. But then I think just Jeff Daniels is
Yeah.
bomb squad. I think Keanu Reeves is just SWAT guy.
But they team
But-
up for some reason.
But yeah, they like team up immediately, and then for the rest of the movie is just Keanu Reeves yelling at people, and Jeff Daniels being like, "I think I got it."
So the opening of this film, I think we got a lot of this right.
we
first of all.
we
yeah.
did.
We
We,
got,
missed a couple
destroyed
randoms.
it.
Couple
yes.
beats.
So
that
like
we missed,
in the
but
very beginning, Dennis Hopper is still setting up the elevator bomb, like right before it's about to happen.
he stabs
Sure.
a
And
security guard.
he stabs.
right in the
yeah,
ear.
he does.
Ooh,
Kills that
boy.
security guard like right away.
Kills him brutally.
And we forgot that he was missing like a finger.
Yeah, that's
like
part
a
of
thing
like.
that's-
Yeah,
playing
his
out.
entire hand, like I don't know if you saw that, it was like purple in like a lot
It's
of
all
spots.
messed up,
It was-
yeah.
the
Makeup on
entire
it.
thing was messed up.
He's always holding the phone cross-handed for some reason. Like his good hand is on his left ear. It's like his right arm's across his face of the left ear. It adds drama to him on the phone.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Help me understand the logic of this though. He lost his thumb? Was it?
It could have been like the whole hand is pretty much done. I'm
Something
not
with that
sure.
hand got
For
messed.
sure the thumb
I think,
is just
I
not
think the
there.
article specifically said he lost like a thumb.
Okay, because I thought he just lost his thumb, and then he was on the bomb squad, and they told him, "Well, you lost your thumb. We have to get rid of you." And he got fired from his job, and then he proceeded to plant 3 bombs to get money for the rest of the movie, just because he was.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
he wants his pension.
Why did they
or-
fire him for losing a thumb?
They didn't- Disability?
I don't think they fired. Yeah, they put him on like disability, and basically like they like forced an early retirement. But I guess it wasn't enough for him, or
He
he
needed
felt
more
like they
money
didn't
somehow?
like they felt he felt like he would deserved more because he gave his hand for the thing, and all he got was his retirement. Like he
Okay.
didn't get like a bonus or anything for his sacrifice. I think was
He's
kind of the thing.
jaded.
He's also just crazy.
He's a jagged little
He
pill.
is kind of crazy. Like, it's kind of crazy that they would fire him in the first place, and it's also ridiculous that he would plant 3 bombs to kill innocent people because he was mad at the police department.
Yeah.
They also like there's a kind of a small detail from part 1, but apparently he worked for like the Atlanta police and then retired to LA, and but he still gets like a gold watch, which is also apparently what they do for the LAPD.
Everybody gets that gold watch.
Because they refer to that like a cheap gold watch, and then like the gold watch, I get it, and I'm like, but he was with a different police. Why would they even do the same thing?
Because everyone gets a gold
And
watch.
then also, why was he working for Atlanta? And then he goes to LA and like he messes with the LAPD because he feels like the Atlanta PD owes him more for his service.
I guess that has to be written in because they would have found him faster otherwise. if he
Maybe,
wasn't
yeah.
LAPD cop. Because Jeff Daniels, his whole thing, and there's this
yeah.
there's this incompetent police officer that is just, I don't know if she's incompetent, she's a real lazy, but Jeff Daniels asked her to do like the most basic thing to look this thing up. It's like, oh, we're never gonna find it. It's your job to look it up. Just do your job, lady.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was so frustrated with that woman.
Yeah, and he does ask pretty early on. They're like, okay, bring me bring me all the retired cops for LAPD, and then they figure out later it was because he was Atlanta PD, which is why they didn't find him sooner. And
if
they find,
anybody's
like, a
not going to
news
get their
article.
bonus, it's going to be that lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she
not
ends up finding
doing
the
her
guy.
job.
She's like off screen. She just brings in the exact person. Somehow
Yep.
she knows what he looks
She
like.
found the news article
That
that's
doesn't make
like,
any sense to me.
retired guy went from 10 fingers to 9 fingers.
It has to be this guy.
Yeah.
Also, like, what was this bonus? Like, how much money is this bonus? If he got his disability check, that's for life. Like, he's going to be getting a check for life.
Yeah, I mean, well, they
like,
go
what was his
to-
bonus? Like, a couple $1 million?
They go to his house. Like, they go...
Because that's what he wants, is millions of dollars.
Yeah. They storm his house, which is apparently like some home in L.A., which I would assume, and it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then he's
He
like
owns that.
but he's in his like crappy apartment headquarters in the middle of the city.
Yeah, so he owns a house.
He owns
and
a
an
house
apartment?
and he's renting an apartment. Like he's
Oh, I'm mad.
I know.
didn't get my bonus.
like, come on, guy. I would be happy with your deal.
I
Like,
feel bad for you that you lost a finger, but that is the least harmful thing.
It
of
really
anything,
doesn't
and you're gonna
seem
go
like he was
blow
that
up like
slighted.
innocent
What
people.
does he want with the money? Just
He
to
keeps-
retire on an island?
yeah, he keeps saying it's his nest egg and it's what he deserves.
He's-
and
So
he's
one of
insane.
those properties.
There's
Yeah.
Not only are the bomb wires crossed, the wires in his head are mixed
Whoa,
up.
look
Because
out.
he doesn't know what he wants, and he's just going for it.
Oh
And
man,
we're all along for the ride.
But I was on the edge of my seat from the moment Keanu jumped a car into like the first frame of this movie.
Yeah.
And it never stopped.
Well, this movie never stops giving you like
never
crazy,
stops.
awesome plot elements.
Yeah.
Like you're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, clearly now that he stabbed the
Yeah.
gas tank, like, oh, that's so much worse.
Yeah, so the movie is
They do a
constantly
great
setting up
job.
things in the moment.
Yeah.
Like, you can't expect you don't know what's around the corner.
Yep.
I mean, there's always a new challenge.
They're setting up 8 new things, and like 6 of them will become new things, but you don't know which 6.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, you have no idea which things are important, which aren't. So the whole time you're just on the edge of your seat, like, what comes next? You have no idea.
This movie is
It's
phenomenal.
a great action movie, and I mean, this is what on the heels of Die Hard.
Yeah, well, it was the director of photography for
Yeah,
Die Hard?
the
was
DOP from for Die Hard was the director for
Mm-hmm.
this film. They bumped him up to direct this one.
That's
He
awesome.
also directed Twister, which
Yeah.
is great. Also in
And
the same vein as this film.
yeah.
It's nonstop terrible things happening to people.
One thing that we got wrong is we thought there was a pregnant lady on this bus.
Right.
Or a little girl.
Well, there's a teenage girl, but there's a couple people in the background that just have no camera time.
Right.
One of them is like a teenage younger girl, but
Yeah,
not like I thought
right.
it was like a kid.
We also thought there was like I thought there was like a crazy old guy who was the one that gets blown out the door,
No,
but it's
it was
an
a
old
crazy old
lady.
lady.
And
Crazy
then
old
she's in
lady.
a bunch of stuff.
She is. Do you guys know like the one thing I know her from is she is the old religious lady in Donnie Darko who
Oh yeah,
doesn't believe that
yeah.
Patrick Swayze is a sex offender.
that's true. She's in a lot of things.
Like what, Brad?
What? Signs? Isn't she in
Oh,
Signs?
is she in Science? I mean,
I don't know.
I saw the movie
Maybe
once
not.
and I never revisited it. So
This is
she is
getting
in Donnie
edited out.
Darko.
I don't want to be wrong.
oh boy, but and then Cameron from Ferris Bueller is
Alan Ruck?
Alan Ruck is
He's just on vacation.
yeah.
His character changes a couple times in the movie.
does.
He's like happy-go-lucky guy, and then he's like serious take-charge guy, and then he's like goofy again.
Yeah.
And then he's
all of
like
a sudden
kind of
he's-
sad and
yeah,
like
he's sad.
scared and
And then he's like helpful. He wants to do the right
He's
thing.
kind of
He's
you're
all
right.
over the place.
He's kind of like he makes me
his
think of
character
like
has a
when-
lot of different elements though.
Yeah. Maybe they
it's-
combine 3 characters into the one role.
Well, in the trivia, they were
Possible.
saying that like his character morphed a couple of times. Like he was supposed to be just like this asshole attorney character who was just mean the whole time, and eventually gets blown up on the bus, like specifically dies. Then they turned him into like the hapless tourist guy, but it was originally still supposed to get killed. And then eventually they were like, let's just not kill him at all. And so I was like,
Yeah,
when
he was like the hapless
you get
tourist.
all 3 of
good.
those kind of bits, like where it's a character they're expecting to get killed
Yeah.
off, but also a character you would expect to be kind of a
it feels
jerk
like they
and-
combined roles into,
Yes.
into him. Because
So-
at first he's like flirting with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, he's just sort of being like the
Yeah.
goofy, like I'm just a tourist. He like works real hard to establish his tourist
Well,
creds.
you need to understand the tourist thing, because when he gets to the airport, he has the joke about
Yes,
how he's already
which
seen
I
the
actually
airport.
really
He's like,
like.
I've
that
already
airport.
seen
I've
the
already
airport.
seen the airport. That was a really. I thought that was a really funny joke.
Yeah, it was worth it.
I also
thought it
did
was
like
worth it.
when Sandra Bullock was, or when he was flirting with Sandra Bullock, and like her first inclination was to pull the gum out of her mouth, and she was just like, "Ooh, I got gum on my chair.
Yeah, gum's on my seat.
Gum."
Ooh, gross! I gotta move.
It worked.
Yeah,
Got him
I was
away.
like, not bad.
For all you ladies out there, sit next to creepoids on a bus. Always be chewing gum. Works every
good
time.
tool. Yeah, good tool.
ABC. G. What are your guys' feelings about the one guy being called Gigantor 3 or 4 times instead of a real name?
Even after he told them his real name, they still called him Gigantor 1 or 2 more times.
I think his name is Ortez.
It is Ortiz, yeah.
Ortiz.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that guy a lot.
Oh, yeah, he was a great character.
I wish he had a little bit more to him.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was a bit more going on.
Yeah, I really like his character. Like, he actually becomes kind of like a major person on that bus. Like, he like pulls Keanu Reeves back in when the cart gets run over, and he's like clinging to the bottom. He's like, I got him. Or like, he's got the tools that even gets the back floor hatch open. He's like, I have a tool belt. Give me my tool belt.
He also stops the guy with the gun in the beginning who shoots the bus driver. Mm-hmm. He's the one guy who jumps that guy.
Him and tries to wrestle the gun away originally.
Yeah, there's only like 5 people on this bus really, and everyone else is just in the background.
Right. Yeah, there's like 15 people, but only like 5 of them.
Quiet back there. They don't want to, talk up and say something. Hey, we're on the bus too, but we have some ideas maybe.
We did ask in part 1 if the camera on the bus was hidden or was just a regular surveillance camera.
We also asked if the wheels go round and round.
Ooh,
they did.
They do go, but they get blown up with a tire thing.
The spikes, when they go in the airport.
So then they stop going round and round.
But then that wasn't a problem. When the tires blew up, it ended up not being a problem at all.
There were just random like debris on the airfield.
That's what I was like. They kept showing tire bits flying at Keanu when he's on the little cart, but they weren't from the bus. They were from the other truck drove over them, and then they ran into Keanu.
I don't know what those were from.
Yeah,
I don't get that.
I derailed your thought with my round and round
that's
joke.
true. Yeah,
I forgot what it was.
We asked about. Oh man, I've already forgotten. Oh boy!
You said that the camera.
Oh, the camera's on the bus.
The camera, was it hidden or was it a regular surveillance? It was like hidden behind the mirror.
Yeah.
So
it was Dennis Hopper's planted camera.
So yeah, it was Hopper's, specifically his camera on the bus. It was like a hidden camera. And I like also like they're like, can they hear us too? And Keanu's like, nah, it's just video. And I'm like, are you an expert on cameras now? Like, that's a big risk to take because he's like pretty openly discussing that camera right next to the camera.
And Dennis Hopper never figures it out. It's too late. I thought he figured out that the thing skipped while he needed to figure it out.
No, it was way
right
after, which I actually really enjoy.
I
love that they rescue everybody. It's all like almost resolved. And they're like, oh wait, he still thinks the bus is going, even after there was a giant explosion that apparently the news channels didn't get.
It's kind of funny because they say he still thinks that the bus is going, and then the very next scene he comes out of the bathroom and he looks right at the camera and he's like, wait a second, something seems weird. And nothing clued him in, but he just like decided to look at the video again, and he just saw that like the lady's bag
goes from the floor
wasn't there and then was there.
Yeah.
So let's go back a bit. Keanu Reeves steals a car.
Yeah,
yes.
He's skilled from was his license plate Toon Man?
I don't know
it was something like that. It was like Toon Man 2 or something like that.
But that guy is awesome.
Yes, and his Jaguar was pretty nice. But yeah, he just steals this dude's car. I really like that he tries to like take 4 other cars. They just drive past him, and that's like the first car that stops.
Well, he does initially have his car, and then he goes on foot to try to stop the bus, and he breaks the bus's window, which to me is justifiably enough to stop the bus.
Yeah. The bus should have stopped.
The bus should have stopped. A window was broken on the bus.
Our window.
That is something you need to take care of.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought the opposite. I thought that when he walked up, he ran up to the bus, he punched the window. My idea as a bus driver and a person who's taken the bus, get the F out of there.
Okay.
Like, if Keanu Reeves wanted to be...
That is also fair.
If he wanted to get the bus driver's attention, he could have just knocked on it.
Yeah.
Or something, or waved at him and like, hey, I gotta tell you something. That would have done better than him just running up and breaking the window.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I could see it both ways.
Yep, I totally get that.
So.
Which is, I think that's what the bus driver did. Like, he just kept driving. He was like, this guy's a little crazy.
Well, Sandra Bullock says she eggs him on to ditch this guy, this wacko. So she motivates him.
There is a thing in part 1 we were saying that like Sandra Bullock doesn't normally take the bus, but forced to. And she does mention it in the thing. She's like, "Oh, I miss my car," but she is best friends with everyone on that bus. So how long has her car been in the shop?
2 weeks.
That shop needs to wrap it up.
Also, it wasn't a shop thing. It was her license got revoked for speeding tickets.
I missed that.
Yeah, that's
I thought her car was just broken.
Because irony.
And it was 50 miles an hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to nail that down the first part. So we had 40, we had 55, we had like 60.
What could the bus really go, like 70, 75-ish at tops?
Yeah, the tops was 70 to 80, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think it was 70.
I think the speedometer went to 90.
I think they got out in the 70s for the jump.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like the fastest.
Which wasn't
they got.
as ridiculous as I remembered it.
No.
It seemed okay.
It did.
I don't know.
I felt the same when I
not
saw
to
it.
me. I thought it looked as dumb as it
Well,
was when I first saw
When
it.
I saw it, I thought the same thing as Brad. In
Yeah.
part one, we said that it looks like the bus is kind of going down in the first shot and then up in the second shot, and that doesn't really happen.
It looks good.
It hits like some kind of ramp
That's
or
what
material.
the front of that bus jumps way up versus the back of that bus, which
But
it
it's
has
consistent
to
between the two
logically,
shots.
I guess.
yeah.
In my brain, those shots are screwed up.
The editing is way better in this movie than what I remember it
For
being.
sure.
Okay.
But they don't show you very much.
But it's still very upsetting that the gap in the road is parallel. It's just like a hole. There's no down. You can't
Yeah.
get down to that next
Right.
part of the road. It's on
Right.
the same level as you're leaving it.
Yeah, I did like there's the sergeant guy or the captain, the black cop guy. He was a great character, and I wanted more of him. He's been in like a whole bunch of other shows, like
As cops, I think.
Eureka.
The-
he was in Scandal. He's been in like a whole bunch of stuff.
The
now.
lead like cop guy?
The-
Isn't
the
he
black guy.
also? Yeah.
He threw me back to the RoboCop police chief. It was like, oh my god,
Oh
this
yeah,
is the
it
same
kind of
guy.
remind me. He could remind me of that. Yeah,
But I was gonna say that guy. I'm pretty sure he's in Terminator 2 as the guy that made Skynet.
He's the scientist. Yep.
yeah, he's the guy that invented.
I think you're
He
wrong.
is. No,
Really?
he's
I think you're wrong.
absolutely
I think that's a
100%
different
right.
actor.
Nope, same guy for sure.
Okay, we'll come back in part 3
no.
and we'll.
I'm almost positive it's a different person.
I'm actually-
the faces are totally different.
I'm positive it's the same
Really?
because they mention it in the trivia on IMDb for this. They're like,
Ugh.
in this movie, Dennis Hopper wears a cop uniform to deceive police. In Terminator, which the captain guy was also in, the villain wears a cop uniform for most of the movie. And I was like,
That's
that's
what I
the
thought.
stupidest piece of trivia I have ever read. It was a really stupid piece of trivia.
I'm not
Brad's
sold.
still. a
It's
little
definitely him. But
skeptical.
I believe that's in the trivia. I believe
yeah,
it's wrong.
I think he's.
I
he's
believe I need
definitely
to go
the
into
guy. It's the guy.
IMDb tonight and correct it.
But
Yeah,
I
go
will
for
say, like one of my favorite bits for him was when they're about to do that jump and he gets the news that the road is out. As like the driver of the
it's
truck's
not on
like,
the map.
he's like, so yeah, Captain, the road's out. He's like, what? It's on the map. He's like, but it's gone. He's like, you're all fired.
And that police
such a
officer
good-
guy with the sleazy mustache is also in a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Which I can't remember.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
But
He's in a
the
ton of like Weasley roles.
yeah, but the you're all fired part I thought was really funny. He's just like, gosh dang it, you're all fired. All of you are just fired. Get us out of here. It was like a really good. There's a lot of good throwaway lines in this film that make it feel pretty natural, even though it's like this over the top action flick. I thought.
what on a scale of 1 to 10, with
How-
10 being amazing.
50.
How
I've
are
upped up to
Sandra
50.
Bullock's legs?
Oh well, that wasn't
10.
what I was gonna ask. But
10.
how was her hair?
8.
No, it was lower than
I
that.
give it a 7.
Oh man.
I mean, she's still Sandra
Her
Bullock.
smile, that's a 10.
10.
Oh my gosh, that smile.
My actual question though, 1 to 10, how is Keanu Reeves acting?
6.
Oh boy, that was.
I think
It's a
6 is
6.
fair.
That's a solid 6.
There were times where it was working really well, and then there's times where you need a bit more emotion than he can deliver you. I feel like.
I felt like he had like it was his emotion would either be like, all right, it needs to be way up high or just like not there.
He's the everyman.
He
That's
when
that's
he
his style.
when he found out that Jeff Daniels blew up, his reaction, although I can understand it,
He needs to
it
get the
seemed
job done.
crazy.
Oh, see, I thought that was actually really good. When he just starts beating up the bus because he's
Oh my
upset. I thought
God.
that was actually really
Yeah.
good.
He's gonna have to deal with that
Yeah,
pain later.
like he's.
I
doesn't have
felt
the
it was
time.
crazy.
Like he's been fighting. He's been kind of in this like match of wits with Dennis Hopper all day, and like he just found out that like his best bud from the beginning of the movie, Harry, got blown up by Dennis Hopper, and he's just like he's headed up to here, and he's just lost it. I thought that was actually a really good scene.
Okay.
But for a lot of the rest of the movie, I felt like he was at a 10 all the time when he needed to be going between like a 6 and a 10, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
Well, he's just like talking real dark into a phone a lot of
But
the movie.
in general,
or
I thought-
whispering to Sandra Bullock or yelling across a bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are just
And,
three
I
things
mean,
that he's doing.
he understands the stakes. I felt at times Sandra Bullock's character didn't really understand the stakes
She was
completely.
back and
she
forth
was
a
like
lot.
smiling and laughing and joking a lot of the time, but maybe that's a good like character trait.
But when
for
that
her.
bomb explodes on the bus where that lady gets sucked underneath
Yeah.
it, which is horrific.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I didn't even remember she gets pulled underneath the tires of the bus.
Yeah.
I said that in part 1. You guys didn't believe me. I was like, no, she goes under
You
that
did say
bus.
that, yeah.
But Sandra Bullock has a reaction where she is just crying. She's like, well, I thought the bomb went off and I was dead.
Yeah,
and
but
we
she's
were
like,
all
I
dead,
thought
and
that was
it
the
real."
bomb. Yeah.
And then she just,
She
just cries.
Yeah,
She's
I
all
mean,
sad.
there were some good performances. I thought Dennis Hopper plays a really good off the hinges dude the whole time.
I feel like you can't work with him and actors in the same time a lot because all of his shots are just by himself, and I think that's almost by design in some respect.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because he's just that intense of an actor.
Yeah, he was channeling Frank Booth from Blue Velvet in a couple scenes,
I could see
and I was
that,
like,
yeah.
he's a bit crazy and out there.
I thought maybe the guy from Phone Booth's name was Frank Booth. I thought that would have been funny.
Oh boy,
Another phone booth class. What are we gonna do? Phone booth?
Never.
Because no one has ever really cared to see that movie.
Nobody. I haven't seen it. I've seen bits and pieces.
all I've seen of the trailers for that movie. I never actually saw the movie.
more
I
fun
have
just to make
actually
fun
seen
of.
it, and I don't remember a goddamn thing from it.
Is there a phone booth in the movie? I don't know.
He's on the
Too
phone
hard to
booth the
remember.
entire time.
Oh man, I thought
Phone booth is a slow version of Speed.
Yeah. It's slow. It's the slow of Speed.
But Kiefer Sutherland is watching him from an apartment across the street the entire time.
yep.
It's the same thing.
Speed in a phone booth. Let's make that movie. Someone thought
Guys,
that.
I got an idea for a movie. You remember Speed? Take that, put a guy in a phone booth. I got nothing else.
Instant
Let's
classic.
shoot it.
George, are you on Speed right now when you think of this idea?
Yes, I am.
I mean, is that wrong? Am I not supposed to be? Let's go. Approve
go.
it. I will. I in part 1, I remembered fondly the look on Jeff Daniels' face when he trips the bomb in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And this
That
one
was sad.
It panned in, and I don't know. I was like, I appreciate the close in where he realized what's going on, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know. It felt kind of goofy. I don't know if that was
it was
just
a little
me, but
goofy.
it was sad.
It's
but,
kind of a fun moment for him, though, to like sneak in through a window and be like, uh-oh.
Oh, and it was his leg that
It was a big uh-oh.
Keanu
Uh-oh.
shot. We thought it was his arm in part 1.
And he even gets like a medal for getting shot. Mm-hmm. And they have like a big party. There's some weird dialogue. It's somewhat
I'm going to go home and have sex with my wife.
yeah.
There was okay. There's
That's
also
that's what Jeff Daniels says.
the
And he's
beginning.
like, you're gonna go home and vomit. Well, that'd be fun too. It's like
I
these are
kind of
weird
like
lines.
I kind of like that banter though.
the beginning of the setup of this, I also wanted to talk about. This reminded me of that because they do the elevator thing in the beginning with the bomb. They foil Dennis Hopper's plan. He gets away, but they think he blew himself up. They get their medals. They go to the bar. This happened within like a few days.
No, I don't think it
Is
did.
what it's-
I had
I
the
think it
same.
was weeks.
I had the same question,
Yeah?
but they implied later on that it was weeks apart from each other.
But then-
the elevator scene and the metal scene were weeks
That
apart.
makes a little more sense, but-
I did feel the exact same
But the movie
way.
takes place immediately after they celebrate the medals. So they're at the bar and they get
Yeah.
real drunk. And Dennis Hopper, when he calls Keanu Reeves to like
He's
taunt
watching
him
the
about
public
it.
access version of that medal ceremony.
Yes,
somehow.
he is.
Somehow that's
apparently
televised.
they just broadcast the police medal
Although,
ceremonies. I don't know. It is
it's
LAPD.
possible.
There's
It's
a huge
possible.
police. They might do it, but. I thought it was funny when he explains to Keanu that he'd been planning that elevator thing for 2 years. How was there 2 years of planning
Yeah.
in that event?
Doesn't make
Also,
That would have taken like 2 weeks.
I did have questions about that too. It took him 2 years to plan the elevator thing. It took him half of a day to set it up, but it didn't work. Then a couple weeks later, the medal ceremony happens. The very next day, he already has a 2-bomb bus situation set up.
He pulls off the amazing bus setup in a few days, but it took
The
him
bus
2
setup?
years to rig an elevator with like 4 explosives.
The bus setup is way more intricate than the stupid elevator
It didn't make
thing.
any sense.
It is ridiculous. Why did it take him that long?
And he's so mad. He's like, 2 years I was planning that elevator. And I was like, dude, you were taking your time because it should not have taken you that
Yeah.
long. So don't complain about 2 years.
You should have got fired.
Something we got stumped on in the beginning is how Keanu Reeves knew what bus it was. Dennis Hopper just straight up tells him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, pop quiz, hot shot.
Pop
You got a,
quiz,
a bomb on a bus. And he's
Which
like, what's your
bus?
first question? Well, I'd want to know what bus number it is. Good question.
25.
That was funny. He's like, you
on the
think
corner
I'm
of
just
this
gonna
net."
tell you which bus? I'm gonna tell you which bus.
Yeah, what? You gotta start the movie. Just tell him.
He plays like he's like never gonna reveal this. He's like, nah, here it is. I got it.
What are you guys' I mean, I know it's 1994, 93 when they shot this. What are you guys' opinion of double button-up shirts?
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Keanu Reeves is getting coffee right before the. We also missed the fact that a first bus
Yeah.
blows
For some
up.
reason, Keanu Reeves' best friend is a bus driver.
Yeah.
Like they always go to a
Yes.
coffee shop.
And like the precursor to
Yeah.
Starbucks in the morning. Apparently, the bus driver gets his coffee at the same place as Keanu every morning.
It's the greasy guy from the Futurama cartoon.
Yeah.
Rolls out of the bus, gets a coffee with Keanu Reeves.
They
gets back into
introduce
the
that
bus.
character. 1 minute later, dead.
He blows up.
There's a very neat little quick thing where Keanu Reeves like left his muffin on a table, so it gives him an excuse to go back and be away from the bus a little bit.
Yeah.
Which if you don't,
Yeah.
listen to it, you miss it. I was like, oh, that's a weird line, just people having a conversation. But it actually pays off because you get to do the shot of Keanu Reeves turning the corner as the bus is rolling by and then seeing it explode in the background.
Yeah.
I love
Which is great.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
I was actually going to mention that that whole scene where like the bus like kind of blows up behind him is like the whole. It felt like a bunch of long takes, even though it kind of wasn't.
There were edits in it.
Yeah, it feels like a long take though, and it felt. I don't know. It felt like it flowed really well. I thought that was actually a really well shot sequence of like the
Yeah.
first bus
Great start.
blowing.
I'm
Yeah.
a little
Start to it.
confused though. Like Keanu Reeves' first impression was just to run up to the bus and just kind of stand next to it as it's on fire.
Well, he was
and
trying to-
just
he was
kind of
gonna
like.
try to pull
yeah,
the
it sounded-
guy
I think he
out.
was trying to
It
see if
didn't
the
look
bus
like
driver
that,
was
though.
alive.
He went to
but
the-
yeah.
he went to the
He
bus
ran up to
driver's
the
side.
front. Yeah.
Okay.
And he realized
It just looked like he was just hanging out by the bus, and he was like, "Oh, it's so hot, and I'm wearing double button-up shirts. Why am I so close? It's so hot." He stands by it for like a solid
Too
minute.
many shirts on me. Oh boy, and that yeah, and then when he steals that jack, that guy was hilarious. Like when he has a car phone, so he like kind of calls the police from the car phone and is explaining to them what's going on, and he's like, "I need your phone," and the guy's just like, "Just take the phone, man. Like you already busted my car."
Yeah.
You got insurance? Yeah, man, I got insurance. Of course I do. This car's great.
Random thought just popped into your head. You wanted to talk about it real bad?
Yeah, I did.
It's
Well,
so like out of context
He
of
leaves,
where we are.
right after the first bus blows up is when he like steals that car almost. So it's like instead he's driving his OJ Bronco all over the LA freeways.
So he was on his way to work in that double button up? Is that what I'm trying? Does he
I
have
thought he had a day off or something.
Well, Jeff
'cause he was-
Daniels makes a joke about him
Oh,
like being
you're
late.
right.
He's got to
Yeah.
have an outfit at work. That's the only.
Well, I
explanation.
mean, a lot of cops change at work because they have
Sure.
locker rooms. But because Jeff Daniels calls, he's like, "You better not be calling in sick because I'm here and I'm real hungover from the partying we did last night at that medal ceremony." I thought that was actually pretty funny because then they're like, "No, there's a bomb on a bus," and he's like, "Okay, time to get to
Here
work."
we go.
Yeah, that woke him up. Mm-hmm. That was better than any coffee.
And I liked that first bus exploded because it added legitimacy to like that second bus having a bomb on it.
Yeah.
Because there was no moment where like, oh, I don't know if I believe Keanu. Like, do you think there's a bomb on it? Well, they blew one up this morning, so there's for sure a
And
bomb
it
on it.
raises like it also raises the stakes because someone dies in that explosion
Yeah.
straight away. Like they
Yeah.
save everybody from the elevator. Like if they'd been
There's some
saving
people that
everybody
should have
from the other
died on
bus.
that elevator. That one
Definitely.
lady who like refused to get off of it.
Yeah, for
should just
the
let her go.
unnecessary moment of tension. I'd be like,
She
all right,
almost
bye,
let her
lady.
drop.
She
Peace
almost
out."
lost a leg.
Yeah.
That's about as close as it got.
Oh boy, but yeah, because that really like someone is now. There's like a body count now. It started, so that's like he's not messing around. These aren't like who like is anyone going to die? The question is now how many people are going to die. Like, so
Yeah, because that first bus didn't have anybody but the bus driver on it.
I think so, yeah. Because he stopped
he
and
stopped
got out of
for
the
a
bus.
coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could talk about this movie for a really long time, couldn't we?
Oh yeah.
sure.
I'm just thinking of so many more things we haven't
Again,
even touched.
go
on.
for it, man.
I messaged you guys 6 minutes into this film saying I already had so much to talk about because this film is insane.
Let's just go back to the Keanu first getting onto the bus. The ricochet bullet does happen. The driver gets hit.
Yep.
And this bus is just on a tear. The police are behind of what's happening. They eventually like get up they catch up to the bus and start setting roadblocks and start taking care of the situation.
Yeah.
Move the bus onto a piece of highway that is still being constructed on, so there's nobody on it.
The whole scene leading there is so great, though, where she's like driving them down streets and smashing like 100 cars.
The bus goes between cars and just destroys
It was
both
amazing.
sides
so
of cars.
much property damage. It's oh my gosh, I can't imagine the amount of paperwork that had to get filled out after this was over.
Yeah. And the bus is just on a tear.
Yeah.
This thing is causing so much havoc, and it's great. All the shots are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of times where the bus has to make like a sharp turn or a wide turn, and it's like
its first turn where everyone has to get on one side of the bus to balance out the weight. That's like the first biggest problem.
It is making basically like an L turn.
Yep.
And it's like, we're not going to be able to make this turn at 50 miles an hour.
And the lines that are exchanged between Keanu and Sandra are great, where Keanu's trying to be like, we can do it. And she's like, no, we can't. It's like, yeah, we can. And then seconds later, she's like, oh, I guess we can't do it. You're right. Oh, we got to figure this out.
Yeah. And then she's like, we're going to tip. And he's like, you're right. Everybody to the right of the bus or something like that.
They figured it out real quick.
Oh, man. And then...
I mean, they have to. They're on the fly.
I would have taken like 6 seconds to even figure out, okay, if we're turning right, what side of the bus do I need to be? Okay, that side's going to tip, so we all need to be on this. But Keanu's like, boom.
You're already like in that turn. You're like,
if I was in that situation, we would have just tipped and we would have been screwed.
So when I was watching this, we get to like where they get off the bus, which is not the end. Which we kind of talked about in part 1, but
we are all over the place.
My
like
wife
this
brought
bus.
Up, my wife brought up a good point while I was watching this. Where she's like, the bus rams that plane, which blows up in a huge fireball, and she's like, "What if there had been people on that plane?" I was like, "Well, clearly that plane was just
being towed.
It was obviously an empty plane." Yeah, but I was like, "But they don't know that." And I was like, that's a good point. They are all very unconcerned with the plane that just blew up. They should have at least been like, "Holy crap, were there people on that plane?"
Did you see that guy who was driving? He was like, he got out and he was like, "Oh!"
I was like, I was like, they didn't really need this, but I would have appreciated to see where they're like, oh my god, a plane blew up. Oh my god, we've killed all the people on a plane with this bus.
Yeah, there was no one.
There were no doors on that plane.
There could have been someone on that plane because I think what happens is the car tows you out after people board the plane.
Well, yeah, but
the plane.
It looked like not a commercial airliner.
It's not. It was a freight plane. But then I was like, what? There's still pilots. There's still Tom Hanks from Castaways on there. Like, I mean,
dead.
There's people that could be on there and that could be dead. And they're like, wow, good thing we got everyone off that bus. Don't mind that plane. Whatever. It's blow it up.
Yeah, it's okay. We're all over the place.
We're all over the place.
Since we're in that, like,
we haven't even talked about the ending yet, which is a whole other bag of pickles.
We've only got
a whole bag of pickles. That ending.
Oh,
we'll get there.
That ending.
Since we're also in that airport sequence, they they negotiate to get the bus driver off of the bus, and we got that right. That Keanu Reeves says that he'll stay on the bus.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They get him off easily onto that flatbed truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I want to talk about. That flat. Where is that? Where do you get that?
It looks
is that
like
just transporting logs.
You get that at flatbed.com.
How did the cops get that so fast?
They did get it pretty quick, but I thought it was like a weirdo specialty, like clearly purpose built for this truck thing, but it wasn't. It was just like a flat truck.
It was awesome.
It was cool
because you got to have the police chief like yell at Keanu, like, "Let's start getting people off." And it's like, "Oh, we can't do it." And there's the moment where like they have to separate, and it's like, "Oh no!"
I was upset.
That was their chance to get off, and now they can't do it.
I was upset at the cops when that old lady's like, "I gotta get off the bus." When they're unloading the driver, she's like, "I'm getting off the bus," and the
cops try to get her off the bus.
Have been told no one can get off this bus, and those cops were like, "Get over here, lady! Come on, jump out of here! We know you're not supposed to, but do it anyway." And then I was like, they need to be held responsible for that bomb going off because it was their fault.
All of those police go home at night and put their head in their pillow and they think about their action because they witnessed that lady get tore up underneath those bus tires.
They knew it was against the rules, and they were like, "Do it, lady! Jump it!" And
also, though, that lady should know that was told to her. She can't do that.
She should, but they were
everybody was wrong here.
Everyone's responsible for this.
Yeah. But I did want to say, when they get the bus driver off of the bus, why didn't they immediately have someone take him to the hospital? Why didn't they stop the flatbed and get him to the hospital, because there's a shot that's like 5 to 10 minutes later. He is still laying on that flatbed bleeding out.
I didn't notice that.
Oh my God, yes, it is there. It might have been just like a thing of editing. Like they were like, well,
that makes sense. You don't
we
see
have
them
to have
give
this
him to an
shot in here.
ambulance or
We
anything.
need it. And he is just sitting there,
Oh my
lying
gosh.
on the floor in a white shirt with blood everywhere. And I'm like, someone save this man.
I didn't even notice that.
You negotiated to get him off of this thing. Someone save him.
Oh my God, that's really funny.
Go back and check it out. It's amazing.
That's so good.
It's the only time you see it is
Oh,
a
no.
shot inside the bus that's shooting part of the passengers,
Yeah.
and just outside you see the flatbed truck, and he's just lying on the ground dying.
Oh my God, because they got to get him out because he's
Yeah.
like he's lost a lot of blood. He
You
needs
never
to get
see
out
him
of here
again.
now.
He could have died.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
he
At
probably
the end of the day,
did.
they go to the hospital.
He probably did, because they didn't take him to the hospital.
They got to the end of the exit ramp where there's the jump, and they stop there, and he's like, "Ever forget about me? All right, I'm just gonna take a nap." Like a
Well,
forever
that
nap.
was before.
Right after the jump, they're in the airplane hangar, which I
Yeah.
didn't realize. I thought there was a lot more of the movie happening.
yeah, they get
between
to the
those two
airport
parts.
right
that
after
was a
that
great
jump.
part where Keanu was just like, as they were about to continue on the freeway, he saw there was an exit for the airport, and he's like, just go there.
Yeah.
Just go. But immediately when they get to the airport, there's like security that's like following them for a short period of time, but then like that never transpires into anything.
Right.
Like they're being
Yeah.
like chased, I guess.
Maybe they just didn't know what the situation was.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, they know
probably
that
not.
it was all over the news that there's like a bus on the rampage. So
Yeah,
they-
but if you're at work, you're not looking at the news.
I don't know, if you're a security guy, they're always watching little
Maybe.
TVs.
They
in their
might
shack.
have, yeah, they might have heard it on the radio or something, but they were like, "Hey, you can't come in here!" And
Yeah.
they started chasing him down, and then like that didn't transpire into
But
anything.
when that bus runs over those strips, I'm like, oh no, one more problem to worry about.
I thought that was weird too because they only
wasn't a problem.
They only
No, it was
showed
fine.
like one of the tires blowing up from
Yeah,
those spikes, and I was like,
that's true.
All of them would
all
be
of them
blown, right?
would have run
Yes.
over those spikes,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They did only show just one.
Yeah, but whatever.
The bus keeps going for another like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I don't know.
But what about that subway though?
Let's not jump to it yet. Because I still want to talk about Keanu going underneath that bus.
Yes,
So-
I did too.
For some reason, why does
Oh,
this
boy.
happen? It's such a convenience. Keanu Reeves just asks to get off the bus, and Dennis Hopper's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, I didn't even think about that.
Because he's like, I'll stay on the bus. And he's like, all right, fair trade. And then later, he's just like, I need to get off. He's like, all right, as long as no one else gets off.
Zach, that was Dennis Hopper's line from I didn't put anything in. That was it. That wasn't Andy talking. I just spliced in that scene. That is exactly what happened.
I didn't even think about that.
Because he gets off that bus no problem.
He gets off the bus in the coolest way ever. He just casually
Although-
takes one big leap onto a Jeep and just like, bam, I'm on a Jeep.
Yeah, like that was no problem.
it was
He
super
couldn't get
cool.
out of that Jag into the bus. They had trouble getting people from like the bus to the flatbed. They had trouble getting people
Nope.
from the bus to the other bus.
He's got it figured out. He takes
that
one
SUV
step,
pulled up. He's like, no problem.
boom. He knows what to do.
Tuck and roll.
And for whatever reason, that car doesn't stop. He's still like having a conversation while that truck is in motion from the outside of it. Why?
There was they make a big point in the Jaguar scene of like he cannot communicate with the bus driver because it's too noisy, and then for the rest of the movie, no one has any problems communicating at high speeds in open air. Like that's the only time.
Yeah. At an airport too.
Yeah.
So he suits up to get put under the bus.
Yep. On his
I didn't
little
realize he
buggy
even got
cart.
off the bus.
Yeah.
In the first part, I forget if we said that or not. But
No,
but,
I don't think we did.
But they put him on his own little trolley wheelie.
Did
thing.
Hopper even know he got off the bus? Now I'm feeling like I didn't
Yeah,
even
'cause
remember
I-
because they
Dennis
were
Hopper
looping
said.
they looped the footage early.
They might have looped the footage before,
because when
and
he's
then he got
watching the
off.
looped footage, he's
got back
still
on
on the
it.
bus. Well, no, because he gets pulled in. I don't know.
Here's what's
I just watched this movie and I still don't even remember.
This part of the movie is very confusing because
Yeah.
why would Dennis Hopper let him off the bus? He's gonna try to disarm the bomb.
They might have looped the footage and then he got
and then
off
he got
the
off
bus.
the bus.
Although,
Why didn't they get everyone else off then, though?
No, they didn't. That's what.
As soon as they looped
Yeah.
it, they got
yeah,
everyone
in my
off.
head, like
Yeah.
they looped it and then immediately got
he
everybody
hasn't
off.
found the camera yet. He doesn't find the camera until he gets back on the second time.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Okay.
But why is Dennis Hopper let him off?
I don't know.
How does that benefit him? Like, there needed to be a line where it's like, well, if you don't, the shortens the time, or I need more money, or something has to be like an exchange, right?
And
it's a negotiation.
And he specifically wants
it was a bad
to
negotiation.
punish Keanu anyway.
He started negotiating when they were at the airport and trying to figure out like the bomb situation.
Yeah.
Like he was negotiating at the last possible minute. He's like, all right, this is what I need from you. I need millions of dollars and don't screw me on this. It's like, you got to negotiate when you're on the payphone telling him there's a bomb on the bus. Like start there.
Get it early so you have time to negotiate that thing.
We'll get to there.
Was that your
There's
only
another
question
thing,
about
though.
the little trolley cart scene?
Yeah, and then he goes underneath the thing.
We didn't mention
bus.
that when he's underneath the bus, he can't figure out how to defuse it.
Yeah.
And he's trying to, but then like it doesn't
realizes-
matter anyway
Yeah, it doesn't
because like
matter.
debris
He
starts hitting
yeah.
him and he's like about to be crushed underneath the tire.
What was their plan to get him back anyway? They the
No
guy's like,
idea.
"Are you ready,
I
Jack?
don't
Are you
know,
sure?"
Andy.
And they pull a pin out to
I
let
don't
him out.
know.
There is no mechanism to reel him back in.
He's just on a cable wire. Like, why can't you just like crank that back in?
Yeah, I don't know what their plan was because then the cable just breaks. But I'm like, they
How
clearly
would that?
weren't thinking
How would
this
that
through.
break?
I don't know, man.
How would that break at all? It's a cable wire.
It was like it's separated from the spool, but none of it was
Nothing
that.
adds
It was
up
never
here.
attached all the way. It was
Oops,
just.
we should have checked that.
So then he
Oh, boy.
takes a screwdriver because he can't find anything to grab onto, so
Yeah.
he doesn't run under the tire, and he just like stabs the screwdriver into the bus, like right at the last possible minute when he's gonna die or something
Yep.
like that, and he actually stabs the gas tank.
Yeah. So it starts spraying gas all over him.
Which doesn't matter anyway.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter anyway. Just like them not disarming the bomb doesn't matter.
But like, if
Well-
you see the gas lever, that thing is going down very
So
fast.
fast.
Yeah,
Like,
it goes
too
out,
fast.
it looks
That
like it's
thing
going
is
real quick.
oozing out.
Because
It's
later
like-
she does say like, "Oh, we got a problem because the light's blinking." But
It's kind of like that classic movie thing when it's like a bomb is about to blow up and it's like 5 seconds, but
Yeah,
then like the
right.
editing makes it 10 seconds,
Yeah, there's
and
like-
you're like, well, wait a second.
yeah, we're like another 30 minutes into this film, and it's still at 4 seconds. I don't understand.
That's the longest bomb ever. Who rigged this
They
thing?
do the
Yeah.
same thing in that movie way with the gasoline
Yes,
in the
you're-
bus.
you're right.
Keanu Reeves asks for a gas truck to be pulled alongside it to
Yeah.
refill it. That never happened.
never
Yeah,
happened.
they're
But
like,
the police
well,
chief was like, "Yeah, we're gonna get
I
that."
thought for sure that was gonna happen. I
the police
thought
chief just lies
like-
to his face.
in my head while watching this, I was like, "Oh yeah, there's a part where like they bring in a fuel truck and refuel it." No, he's like, "Okay, we'll take care of that. Give us like 2 minutes." He's like, "We don't have that kind of time." I'm like, "Are you an expert on how much gas this bus has left?"
And then
with
10
the lights blinking?
minutes later, he's like, "Is that gas coming?" It's like, "Sure is, Keanu. Don't worry about it."
That gas is definitely coming on the way. It's
But
don't
then
worry.
by then it doesn't even matter because that's when they realize that
They can loop
he's
the cameras.
watching
yeah,
them.
and they loop it.
Which I got I got confused as to how Dennis Hopper was watching them and how Keanu Reeves knew he was watching them.
How is that little?
How does the
thing
camera
They
broadcast
explain it-
far
to a
enough,
single
right?
television
Yeah.
set?
Yeah.
That camera is no way that camera can broadcast that far. Like they had to hijack that news truck right outside the airport to get that feed.
Keanu Reeves had
I don't know what's happening.
not Keanu Reeves, but Dennis Hopper has some crazy technology. Do you see the
Yeah.
fact that he had Google Maps before that even existed?
What?
Well, he had like a GPS on his computer.
Okay.
And it was actually tracking the
bus.
Oh, I
bus
didn't
the
even
entire
notice
time.
that. But I thought it was funny when they get the news van to loop that footage. Like those news guys put up no fight in dropping their coverage of a bus chase. Like they're out in front of the fence, like, "We're here where the bus is driving around these."
That police chief was yelling at him pretty mean, Andy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The
was
police
mean.
chief comes over. He's like, "Give me your cameras. Get me in the truck. Can you get this thing? Do this for me." And the guy's like, "All right." I'll be like, "What? We're filming a news story. No, like
He
you
did
can't
argue
do this."
back a
Yeah.
little bit. He
It's
was like,
sweep
That guy in the
I'm
news truck did
doing
not
it.
want to do it. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I guess if I have to, I'll put the VCR tape in and hit the record button."
And then I did feel for that tech when the
Oh.
police guy was like, "Is it working yet? Is it working yet? Is it working yet? Is it working?" And the guy's like, "Give me a minute, God.
I just put you're looking at me.
this
I
is
just
not
put the
easy.
tape in.
I'm working on it."
Hold on a second.
Oh
I gotta
man.
put the tape in the right way still.
Oh, jeez.
I gotta label it. I gotta put the thing on. I gotta label the tape. I
Don't
gotta
want to put in the wrong tape.
It might get lost if I don't label it.
I need a 15-minute break.
Oh,
My
man.
wrist hurts. Putting the tape in.
Don't yell in my ear or I have tinnitus.
Just shoot him. Just shoot him. Shoot this tape operator, man.
Oh boy.
But they only get a minute of footage, and I guess that's good enough.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is like, it's gonna have to do, and it works.
It works.
It
Yeah,
does.
it worked well enough. I mean, he didn't notice until well after that bus blew up. I don't understand how he didn't see news footage of a big explosion at LAX.
They
even
weren't
if they're
shooting
out-
it anymore.
They were. Well, there was more
Yeah,
than
they
one
pulled
news
off
van
the,
there, though.
They pulled him off, I think. Isn't that the whole thing? Like,
I think
pull
they-
it-
The
There were only
helicopters,
two-
the helicopters weren't there, but the news vans were filming outside the airport, and that was a huge explosion. Like they would have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at that
Well-
point, it didn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, it
doesn't
didn't
matter.
It didn't. I mean, they wrapped it up, but
It's not like
Yeah.
he's gonna explode the bomb again.
and we don't know how long.
It's not like he's gonna explode the bus that they got onto from
Yeah.
the bus that they got.
But
That's what I was just saying.
he didn't know, and we don't know how long he was in that bathroom before he came out and saw the footage was looped. He could have been in there for like an hour.
Yeah.
He's got some prostate problems. It takes him
Oh,
longer.
no. Is that part of his disability?
Yeah, you never. You
Oh,
know,
no.
it's the size of a grapefruit. It's hard to pee. You know.
It's also hard to wipe your butt without a thumb, or I don't know.
I bet you can manage. I bet that's not that hard.
Boy. Oh
That is something that is very reasonable.
Then why did they have to fire him and let him go?
You can't. Sorry, buddy. You can't wipe your butt anymore. You can't be a cop. that's like the third rule of being a cop.
So they looped the footage, and they have another awesome vehicle. What is this thing?
That was
It's
like
like
a
a glass.
It's like a super bus.
It's a super bus. That's
Super glass bus.
I was actually, as a kid, I always thought this was like a special bus, but it's just like an airport bus. They use these to like take people out to planes that have to board
It is
like with
nice.
stairs on the runway. It's
It is
cool.
the perfect thing for this situation.
But I have actually seen them at airports, so now I know that it's just like an airport thing. And on the side, I have like LAX on it, so it was just like they managed to find one of the airport buses, and we're like, it's ours now.
It was great.
It was cool. I love that. Like you see the front. There's like doors even on the front of this
Yeah,
bus. Like
it's
there's
classy.
doors everywhere on this bus.
That bus is Clancy as fuck.
Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy as fuck. So they get everyone off the bus with a wooden board.
Yep.
People just walk across
Walk
it
the
like it was
plank.
nothing. There's some old people that are having a little trouble, but they end up figuring it out. Everyone gets across, except Keanu.
And Sandy Bull.
The police chief gives him a pipe and a rope to put the gas pedal down and to keep the bus from going
like
straight.
steering level- yeah, steering
steering
all over.
crazily. So that's good. But for the bus hits more debris,
Yeah.
and then the wooden thing just falls off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so,
So,
they can't
rather
get
than
out.
even try to set that back up again, they just have this new
they're
idea.
like, well, sorry, Keanu, bye. And they just drive away. Like there's no
and
more hope.
He had the next thought
Why not
before
just
he even
set
like
it up
thought
again?
it.
like
He was
yeah,
just like,
you don't even need that plank. Just drive that bus close to the
Yeah,
other bus.
he
like
got on that Jeep
he got
so
on, yeah,
good.
exactly. He got on that SWAT car so easy. It's like
Yeah.
he clearly knows what he's doing.
But his decision instead is to go out of the little escape hatch.
Yep.
ride it like a surfboard.
Yep.
Ride it like a surfboard.
And at the same time, untie the rope that's holding the steering wheels. The bus crashes into a plane.
Yep. Well, it's gonna crash
Yeah.
into something, that's for sure.
Doesn't he tie the rope to the escape hatch?
Yeah, he ties it
Two?
to the board they're laying on, which I think is the escape
Yeah.
hatch itself. But he also loops it through the steering wheel. But to let them down through the hatch, he has to undo part of the rope so that it like lowers them out of the bus.
Yeah.
which is unties the steering wheel,
Okay.
Yeah.
and
okay.
it was crazy.
Them flying out under the bus is great.
Yeah, into
It was
into
amazing.
like those
There's no
cones or, like,
cuts. It's just like stunt people.
It's really cool.
Just spinning around and crashing in. Like it has the same sort of momentum that you
Mm-hmm.
think it would. Like it feels like it just crashes in some weeds
Yeah.
and then they end up doing a little kissing. They smooch a
No,
little.
I don't think they kissed
They don't
there.
smooch there.
No, they kissed at
till
the
the end.
very end.
This,
But there's
that's
almost
where
a
they first
callback.
referenced the relationships under stress or
under stressful
yeah.
circumstances. But there's a lot of Sandy Bullock leg.
Brad was all about this leg.
It's there.
It's there.
can't-
and
you can't miss it.
I can't miss it.
I kind of like the boots with the skirt thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah.
Lace up boots with the skirt.
Yeah.
It looks good. All right. The hair though, I don't know what was
Sort
going
of-
on there.
The hair takes away some marks from the boots at the skirt.
Yeah, she had a weird haircut.
So they're just lying there for like what seems like forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
they
moving.
should have kissed.
They should have kissed.
And then
the police come
police
out
guy
and
comes
like, talk
up.
to him, and they're still just laying in their
he
same
is still
position.
just laying on top of Sandy Bullock, talking to the police guy. I'm like, guy, you really
Get off
should. You should
this
have got
lady.
up first thing. You're making this conversation very awkward. Like,
Yeah.
He's just
is
laying on
not
Sandy
great.
Bullock like, I'm not moving, by the way. This is where I am going to stay.
I have a boner, and I do not want to stand up because everyone will make fun of me.
So then we get to one of the most questionable decisions.
Here we go. We couldn't figure this out either. But
So they're like, okay, they figure out, oh, he doesn't know the bus is blown up yet. We
Mm-hmm.
might be able to catch him when he goes for the money. For some reason, they bring Sandy Bullock to the money drop. Why? She's sitting in an amber lamp.
yeah.
She's just sitting in an amber lamp right there. like they put her in one and brought her in the ambulance to the scene, and she's just standing there now.
Yeah.
Why?
And for no
There's
reason,
not
she,
any initiative for anybody.
and for no reason, she just wants to get out of the ambulance
Yep.
and be like, I want to see what's outside.
Let's go. Yeah.
I want to go outside now.
don't-
I don't like being in here.
Oh, and it was clearly at Keanu's request. Like he was like, I can't lose this lady. I gotta bing bong with this one later. So let's
take her to the
bring her with
hospital.
you.
This is a stressful
Because
situation.
when Dennis Hopper's like, "Hey, come with me," and she's like, "But I'm here with."
well, Dennis
what's
Hopper
his
wears a
face?
police.
Yeah, and she's like,
outfit.
"I'm Jack. Jack said I could stay," and he's like, "So
like-
clearly Jack was like, don't mess with her. She's with me at this crime scene thing, even though she should be at the hospital."
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper has a meltdown when he sees that lady's purse disappear.
Yes.
But
he
he goes through with his plan anyway. And I was
was
right
so
that there
good.
was. I didn't think. I was wrong that there was like a tube or an elevator system. There's just a hole in the bottom of the garbage.
Yeah,
can.
we thought it was like a trap door or something. No,
That's
it's
what I
just a
called.
straight up hole.
But they legit put money down there.
Oh, yeah.
It is like set with paint to market.
Yes,
but
which I thought was great.
they
I
put
forgot
money
about
down.
that, which
Why
I
would
thought
they
was
put
really
real
funny.
money down there?
Yeah, they
Just
didn't
put
mess
fake
around
money.
with that ransom money.
I love when it exploded with the paint.
Yes,
and he got so
he was
mad.
very upset.
and it's so fun because throughout the whole thing, the idea is that Dennis Hopper's character is always kind of one step
up, yeah.
ahead of the police because he was police. He knows the procedure, and this is like the one time where he's like, "I got the money. It's good." And he opens it, and the thing goes off, and I was like, "Did you think they wouldn't
Yeah.
put a marker in there?"
It's so silly.
And his face when he realizes that oversight, and he's so mad that they would do this. And I loved that bit. He is such
Yeah.
a good villain.
He
in this
flips
movie.
a dip.
Yeah.
He gets nuts.
Oh man.
Right before that, he kidnaps Sandra Bullock and puts the bomb on her.
Yeah, he puts a vest on
Yep.
her.
Uh-huh. And he's got a little detonator guy.
Yep. When the dead
And
man switch.
He even there's a little callback to the beginning of the Jeff Daniels kidnapping. It's like, "You're gonna shoot the hostage now?"
Yeah, can't
And then
shoot
Keanu's
this
like,
time.
"Nah."
Yeah.
Can't do
I-
it.
I liked when he yelled at Sandy Bullock in the hallway because he thought it was Dennis Hopper somehow.
Uh-huh.
I was like, the lighting's not that bad, guy. It's pretty clearly not Dennis Hopper this time. Like, it's Sandra Bullock's weird haircut.
Yeah.
She turns around all defeated, like, "Oh no,
He's
I got
like,
kidnapped.
oh jeez, oh no.
Oh no."
I did
I got
like
kidnapped.
Dennis Hopper has that good back and forth with her when he has her like take the switch from him briefly. And he's like,
Inside
hold
the
on,
bus.
no, don't let go, don't let go. like he has like the almost
like
like comical
teacher.
exchange. Yeah, he's like,
It was great.
He shoos everybody out of the subway except for the driver, who he ends up shooting anyway.
yep.
Yep.
And the bus is just out of control.
Because
Or the subway.
Yeah, he
well,
shot
he
the
shot the
controls.
controls.
He breaks the controls.
Apparently he shot the stop, but not the go.
Well, he shot. Yeah, I
was confused
I
about
thought
that.
about that as well, and I was like, that's a little too convenient. But yeah, he destroyed the emergency brake.
Yeah.
But the pedal or whatever it was, the lever to make it go
was
faster.
like, does that
He
mean
can
this
go
is
fast,
fine.
but not slow.
Does that mean this driver's hitting the emergency brake at every stop? Because I feel like the acceleration lever would stop the train as well as
I think
speed it up.
The
but
bullet destroyed that exact button on
maybe
the console.
Yeah, because he's like, I'll make the train go faster. And
But Keanu
Yes.
gets onto the bus.
the very last
the subway.
car, the last
I keep
second.
saying that.
Yeah, he almost
Yeah.
gets hit by like the gate of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And he's climbing on the top.
Yeah.
And then there's this horrifically weird cut of Dennis Hopper crawling after him
Yes.
Yes.
like some sort
Yes.
of rabid animal.
Oh man.
Yes, that was scary.
And I love that
And I was
Keanu,
like, they couldn't show him climbing up there at all because Dennis Hopper
Yeah.
can't do
Yeah,
He's
that.
an old man.
But Keanu has no idea he's even on the roof until he gets to Keanu Reeves. He's
a
like, "Oh shit!"
Like a shark that you have sight of,
Oh, man.
lose sight of, and then sneaks up behind you.
Oh,
Dennis
man.
Hopper is right there nipping at his heels.
I did really like that. He has a good line too when he hears a bang on the roof and figures that it's Jack. He's like, "Oh, there's that Jack. He always gets his man." Like this kind of
Yeah.
repartee they've been having throughout the film, where he's like, it's a game to him still. Or
And because Keanu had seen that the stoplight or whatever was flashing overhead, he has knowledge of the
yeah, he
thing.
knows that they're there.
And oh boy, does Dennis Hopper get decapitated by that thing.
I thought that was
His entire head gets lopped
It
off.
seemed very anticlimactic, but I loved it.
It just
but I
disappears.
loved it.
His head is just gonzo.
It's like,
Can we talk about the
bonk.
line that Keanu Reeves had right
Yes!
after, which
Yes.
Don't lose your head. What does he say?
I don't know what Dennis Hopper says right before he gets decapitated, but
Nothing.
Keanu Reeves' response? No, he does say something because Keanu Reeves responds in return with something that doesn't make sense at all.
I don't remember that. I just remember when he tells Sandy Bullock what happened to the bad guy. He's like, he lost his head, and I was like, ooh, ice cold.
So when Dennis Hopper gets his head knocked off, he antagonizes something from Keanu Reeves. He
Okay.
tells him something, and then Keanu Reeves' response back, he's like, "But I'm taller," and I was like, "But you're like below him, and also has nothing to do with height whatsoever."
I thought that, and I figured out the explanation.
Okay, thank God.
He is now currently taller. Because Dennis Hopper doesn't have a head. Let's put them in a situation where they're not laying down on a subway train, right? Let's put them straight up and down. At this point, Keanu Reeves would be taller because he has a head, and Dennis Hopper would be shorter because he doesn't have a head.
I think you're right. And I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
I didn't say it made it better or worse, but it is the explanation for the line.
You're right. That is okay. The explanation makes sense.
Yep.
But then again, if you put Dennis Hopper and Keanu Reeves side by side, Keanu Reeves is always
He's
going to be
always
taller.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless if he has a head or
boy.
not.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying there's a justification.
Thank God that you were able to justify that. It,
It
makes
took
more
me a
sense.
second to figure it out.
Yeah,
and for the
it took
longest
me,
time.
a day, 2 days.
So let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain to me.
This I wanted to ask you guys to explain
Well,
to
Okay,
me.
let's try to
I
figure this
can't.
out. together.
He looks at the map. They're like, the track's not finished, just like that road earlier,
Why?
because we're gonna reuse this.
What? Why?
And
Yeah, so the people at the
what
terminal are
reason?
saying, "Hey, train 82, like you're going too fast and we haven't finished the tracks."
You're off the rails on a crazy train. they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And his thing is like, oh, well, when it turns, it's unfinished, so I'll speed it up so it jumps the rails.
How?
What's the difference between
How?
reaching the end of that track or reaching the construction part where he almost kills a bunch of construction guys? And-
Well, his logic was if he speeds it up, he can go so fast that he jumps off
jumps
the
the
track,
track.
and
What does
goes
that
up a ramp
mean?
somehow
What does that
into the
mean?
street.
What do any of those
Don't-
words mean?
He says,
know.
yeah, he specifically says, we can jump the track. Oh, it seems like the result is exactly the same if he had left it at normal or if he'd still done what he did. Like, it was
don't
going to crash
understand.
into a bunch of stuff and break things.
See, but I don't understand also how, like, it was going to crash most likely into a bunch of stuff underneath, like, in the subway area. But what it actually did is it went up some ramp
Yep.
into the street
Yep.
somehow.
It busts out that billboard and into the middle of the road, and
God,
people in
get it.
LA are like, great, more traffic.
But I was totally right because it's stuck in my memory. The scene where Sandra Bullock says "Leave me" and Keanu's like, "Nah,
Yeah.
we're going through this."
That was
together."
really cool. I thought
he
the
doesn't
two
have
of
a
them
key
did a
for
really
that.
good job right
Doesn't
at the
have
end
a
there
key.
because
He doesn't
we're
have
like
it.
they're both kind of like the
Making
They're
out.
cheated.
Well, and she has like the save me, and then like she kind of is accepting that she can't be saved, but at the same time wants to be saved, but is telling him to save himself anyway. It was a really good.
And then he has
That's
to make
a
the
really good
decision to
final
do it.
scene. Yeah,
It's
where
so
and he
good,
decides to stay. That was a really good scene.
really well written.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
I thought she sold it more than he did a little bit, but I thought that scene was really good. And
Yeah. Would you guys have stayed?
Yeah, for Sandy B,
did you see those legs?
100%.
Did you see that haircut?
Look, he brought her to a crime money transfer. He's clearly ready, like he's willing to go 100% to get with Sandy Bullock.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's
So we're all
stay.
gonna stay though, right? Okay. Good.
So they end up
You were definitely gonna stay.
surviving the subway crash. The subway train is on its side.
Yep.
Does the pipe that Sandra B's
It
handcuffed
falls
to just
off.
breaks
It breaks
or whatever?
during
the
It breaks
crash,
during
yeah.
the crash somehow.
It
But
like
they're
you
fine.
see a shot of
Yeah.
it like falling.
Yeah,
off
they
or
seem pretty
somehow.
much unscathed from this pretty horrific crash.
And then they smooch.
then they smooch. And then
And then it's literally just credits.
he repeats the same line back to her where he's like, "I heard that relationships under the same thing she
Yeah.
told him like a minute
I just
ago."
said that a minute ago.
Yeah. And then they smooch. And then yeah, it just straight up credits over the smooch.
Also, I would be like a little worried about him saying that. I'd be like, don't say that. now we're going to be on a plane in 5 minutes and there's going to be a bomb on there. This isn't going to work.
They need to travel separately, even if they end up together for the rest of their lives. Always travel separately.
Which they don't.
Yeah, Speed
they're not
2.
together.
Speed 2.
For the rest of their lives.
There's a throwaway line that they broke up. They broke up. Because Keanu
They
Reeves
broke
didn't
up
want to do
under
it.
extreme circumstances.
Yeah, clearly.
I wish Keanu would have done Speed 2.
Did she do Speed 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I never saw it.
The
so
same
I have no
director.
idea.
He's
Okay.
just like,
I know
I'm
the
bored.
police captain guy's back in Speed 2.
And Willem Dafoe plays.
Willem
I
Dafoe.
think,
That's right, yeah.
Dennis Hopper's brother or something.
I think he's a
related
separate
to him.
villain.
Okay.
Really?
I think so.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
It's kind of like the Die Hard 3 thing, where they're related.
Die Hard
But-
3 is so good.
This movie was so good.
This movie is
This
great.
movie
This
was
movie is fantastic.
It's
This
so
movie
fun.
is such a good action movie. I totally see it coming off of Die Hard because I felt the same way watching this I felt watching Die Hard, where I'm like, this is just a great action movie.
I don't know if we answered this, but is this a Jerry Bruckheimer movie?
Oh, we did talk about that in part 1. I don't think it was. I don't remember anything indicating
It
that
does
to
have
me.
a producer attached, who's a pretty big one.
But
I will say, right from the get-go, I heard the Metal Gear Solid soundtrack in this movie.
yeah, you mentioned
And there's
yeah.
a YouTube comparison, sure enough,
They're
of
like the
this theme
exact
song
same.
and the Metal Gear Solid theme song.
Metal Gear ripped off this movie soundtrack.
Like
for
Dennis
sure.
Hopper aped Jeff Daniels, Metal Gear Solid
Straight up.
aped the Speed soundtrack.
Yep.
I did not get to listen to the video that you posted yet, but I am excited to check it out.
It's straight up the same, and it's great.
Thanks for rating, liking, and subscribing to the podcast. The movie for our next episode has the tagline, "They figured he was lazy, time-wasting slacker. They were right." That's right, we're doing The Big Lebowski.
Wait, let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. You know, that or his dudeness or Duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
Are you employed, Mr. Lebowski?
Employed?
You like sex, Mr. Lebowski?
Is this your only ID?
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude.
Your name's Lebowski.
Jeff Lebowski, the other Lebowski, the millionaire. I received this ransom note this morning.
This is a bummer, man.
They want you to take the money and act as courier.
What do you mean, man? What the hell is this?
My dirty undies, dude. The whites. Let's take that hill! Why should we settle for 20 grand when we can keep the entire $1 million?
I know you're mixed up in all this.
Playing one side against the other in bed with everybody.
Blow on them.
Huh?
Fabulous stuff. What? Who's sitting on $1 million? We want some money. Sitting in the trunk of our car. Where's my damn money?
Say, dude, where is your car?
Who's got your undies, Walter?
This is a very complicated case, Maud. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
Is this your homework, Larry?
And I would like my undies back.
A lot of strands to keep in my head, man.
Whoa! Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
I like your style, dude.
I have no choice but to tell these bums to do whatever is necessary to recover their money from you.
They were Nazis, dude?
They were nihilists, man. They kept saying they believed in nothing. You figured, oh, here's a loser, you know, a deadbeat.
Well, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
You cannot drag this negative energy into the tournament.
Jeffrey,
Maud,
love me.
that's my robe.
I'm throwing rocks tonight.
It don't matter to Jesus. This could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple, you know?